Yo, what's going on, guys? Hopefully, you guys are having a beautiful Tuesday. Nothing filled with great health, great wealth, and prosperity, man. As this next quarter of the year, right? Hopefully, you guys are able to fulfill your promises that you guys told yourself that you would do going back into the new year, going back into January. When you look back at that timetable, look at your list. Hopefully, you guys have it in your notes and see what you guys accomplished and mark it down. I would say that I've completed 3 out of 4, but the job's not finished. Look, man, today there was a lot of great news, at least when it comes down to the sport of boxing. It brought a smile to my face when I saw Devin Haney bring back big time boxing versus Regis Prograis in San Francisco. A couple years back, I want to say maybe 2018 or so, I went to go watch Andre Ward versus, I think, Carlos Miranda or Carlos Brand. I'm not too sure. He was a Colombian over there in one of the, I think, not the HP Pavilion in San Jose, but I think it was like the Oracle in Oakland. And I got to see Andre Ward. And that was nice. It was a boring fight. I think I also saw Junior Guzman or Junior Gomez, and he knocked out his opponent. It was nice. I got to see at the time, I mean, it's been a couple of years. I'm going based on recollection, but there was an Oakland singer, and she completely missed half the national anthem. But that was my first time seeing, a fight that I paid my own tickets with my own money. And I got to see Andre Ward. That was incredible. We had a good seatings. It was my friend and my older brother, and it was an impeccable time. It was an HBO production. Back like in around 2019, 2018, maybe that fight took place in 2016. Who knows? Time flies, right? HBO left boxing. One of their last fights, if not their last fight, was Daniel Jacobs versus Luis Cuba Arias. Maybe it was a different fight. I'm not too sure. But the executive at the time for HBO Sports, if I'm not mistaken, was Peter Nelson. He was the forefront. He was the face of the department to focus and bring that programming, that area of storytelling to HBO, right? I think now HBO, maybe they just do documentaries. But in years past, they had the best content. When I think about HBO, I think about The Wire, The Sopranos. I think about real grimy storytelling, right? That's what HBO was. They were the best. They were true innovators. They were pioneers. It was an honor to watch the platform of boxing and every single aspect of programming that they had to offer. It was very real. It was amazing. All the documentaries, the programming, the shows, Game of Thrones, True Detective Season 1, HBO is the best. But when they left boxing, I looked at it as either boxing failed HBO or HBO failed boxing, or maybe the two. When I look at Showtime now, leaving after 40 years or so, I asked myself that same question. Did boxing fail Showtime, or did Showtime and their executives, like Steven Espinoza, like Peter Nelson, did they fail boxing? It's a very difficult question to answer, right? Because it's not simple to answer. When I look at boxing in today's day and age, I don't see true pioneers. I don't see any innovation. And I think that's why these amazing networks are leaving this beloved sport, right? There's amazing opportunity, but there's no structure. When I look at boxing, I look at exploitation, black exploitation. I look at unscrupulous people in business suits. I look at it as a sport that people don't give a fuck about, right? Everyone's out for their own. There's no universal health care for these athletes. from the top to the bottom, right? They're so behind in the game. If they look at every other organized, structured sport like the NFL, NBA, hell, MLS, MLB, I would consider those like monopoly sports. They follow kids from high school, build them up in college, and by the time they already hit the pros, they already have a following. Boxing, there's no one that has that structure. Everyone is out there for their own. Hell, even Oscar De La Hoya wanted to sell Golden Boy Promotions. Top Rank wanted to sell their catalog as well. All of these people that have this money, that have this influence, are failing the sport of boxing, right? Now, just kind of like a market crash, there's always room for opportunity. There's losers and there's winners. There are people that bet against it. There's people that lose everything. So when HBO first left, right, they probably had a sense that there was a changing of the times. They realized that boxing is no longer the peaking sport. Probably Hard Knocks in football was much more of a riveting programming, and they probably wanted to focus more on, I guess, what they call storytelling aspect. But when I look at HBO and I look at Showtime, I'm like, damn, bro, you guys mean to tell me there's amazing shows like Friday Night Lights, but you guys couldn't make, I don't know, Friday Night Fights, a show, a storytelling with actors? Hell, use real life people. Use Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya as trainers for some of those like Contender series. You mean to tell me you guys couldn't build up great there's nothing in the world, honestly, better in terms of storytelling than boxing, right? And you mean to tell me these great platforms like Showtime and HBO, they couldn't come up with great stories to reverberate the sport, to reinvigorate the sport, to popularize the sport? When going back to the term exploitation, everyone in boxing is only out for themselves. They're only trying to use people to, get access and to move up, and then kind of forget about them, right? To get that BMW, to get that home. Everyone is failing the sport of boxing. The fans have failed the sport of boxing. The networks have failed the sport of boxing. Boxing has failed everybody, right? Because these things that I'm saying, they're easy problems to fix. I mean, I don't think they're relatively hard, right? When I look at this generation, at least kind of where we're going now, it's a hustle culture, right? But it's a culture that lacks meaning, that lacks structure, right? I see a lot of people have some sort of discipline, but their mentality and their mindset and how they're processing certain things, it's a warped reality. It doesn't have any substance, right? I know it's kind of off topic really quick, but people forget to be in tune with their senses, what they truly honestly feel, right? Everyone is very nostalgic about the past. They have this sense of the past was better than the future, right? And that holds a certain level of truth. But the reality is the future is always going to be greater than the past years, right? Because there is room for true pioneers, for true innovators, right? When I look at HBO and Showtime, and even the programming right now, and cable television, there's nothing new under the sun. These people are giving us recycled stories. They're planting celebrity plants. They're focusing on AI. And they're not really innovative at all. Their programming, they're showing the way how they go about building stars. There's nothing new under the sun. It's recycled trash over and over and over, right? Boxing has no structure, obviously. And these fighters, when they make a big fight, it's not sustainable. Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, 95% of that money goes to just two fighters. It doesn't go to the sport of boxing. Hell, it doesn't probably even go to the networks. It doesn't trickle down and have a trickle down effect. It just goes to these fighters. And what happens with these fighters? In return, they don't give back to the sport of boxing. They just consume a new car, a new home, and then just focus on themselves. It's not sustainable as a brand, as a whole. So there's no way to innovate in moving forward, because these boxers then in return, they're not like Oscar De La Hoya that buy their own company, create their own company, have Ring Magazine, belt, a Ring Magazine articles, right? Golden Boy is the only one that's kind of like pushing his own product. At one time, when he lost all his fighters and Showtime with the fiduciary duties to Richard Schaefer and the key man clause, Oscar was desperate. He only had Canelo to his name and a couple of other little fighters, and he didn't have a network deal, essentially, right? They were trying to buy him off at his contract. He fired and sued Richard Schaefer and company. But one thing that he really said in an interview in the time of desperation is he wanted to start his own Ring TV boxing channel, his own, let's say, local show, like Robert Rodriguez with El Rey Network. And I thought that was a great idea from Oscar De La Hoya, right? HBO even had like a little sympathy documentary. I think it was a female reporter asking Oscar some, and trying to win the hearts and minds of people all over again. But I feel like not only was that a great idea, I feel like Oscar should reinvest and try to make his own scheduled programming and just put boxing and just unite all boxing companies. Like, hey, bro, like, let's do this on local channel. Let's build up these fights and these stars, and let's be innovative. They leave it up to Showtime and HBO to write all these stories, and they're no longer passionate into the sport of boxing. And there's a void to be filled. Right? There's nothing more romantic, more tough than a great story of boxing. Right? So yeah, in a sense, having that nostalgic feel of these great athletes in the past years, yeah, maybe the future doesn't look so bright for boxing. Right? Let's say, as everyone is talking about this, say PBC goes to Amazon Prime. I mean, I have Amazon Prime. I look at their stories. But I don't go for them for content. Like, their subscribers, like, I buy like miscellaneous things on the fly, on the go. You understand what I'm saying? I don't go there to necessarily watch content. In fact, even with it being an Amazon Prime membership, I don't even, there's still commercials. There's new movies and shows, but you have to rent them or, buy them. And I'm not even about that time right now. Right? Cable television, people don't even, bro, they're not even on TV anymore. Like, when I hop on my TV, maybe I'll watch a show with my girl late at night after work, or maybe I'm have a dope ass gaming system and I'm playing my PS5. So what I'm saying is, all these apps, like, that's why probably HBO left. They realized, man, bro, like, this app business with Netflix is gonna kill the game. But the reality is this. Couple years ago, 2019, 2018, Peter Nelson told people that they were going to not entirely leave the sport of boxing, but they were going to focus more on their storytelling, right? Probably like shows like Game of Thrones and company. Showtime, basically, Steven Espinoza in interviews, if you guys go into the Washington Post, in fact, let me share this thing. When you guys go into the Washington Posts, basically they say the same thing. Showtime will continue to air boxing and support the remaining of their 2023 schedule, as they want to honor their obligations. We want to express our deepest gratitude to our employees who have contributed to this award-winning sports programming over multiple decades. They went on to say that they have their inside the NFL, kind of like the Hard Knocks has with boxing. They're leaving Bellator, Strikeforce, and Elite XC, though they've been trying to sell their promotional for years. And they just want to focus on storytelling. It's the same exact thing that HBO said back in 2019. Right? Larry Merchant says here that, He says here, look, I think the sport has done extremely well without HBO. In a phone interview, it's been having a terrific run now of big fights with ESPN, Fox, and DAZN, and there are a lot of money being poured into the sport. They're using it for marketing and paying. Some will say overpaying their fighters and making big fights. Just look at the fights we've had in the past 3 to 4 years. This is what Larry Merchant said, right? Like 3, 4 months after HBO left the sport of boxing. I don't necessarily hold that same sentiment, right? Showtime Sports, the brand that televised some of the biggest fights since its 1986 launch, will be discontinued at the end of this year. The parent company Paramount said on Tuesday, our strategy is to move more efficiently and allocate resources and align our content of offering across the business. We made the difficult decision not to move forward with boxing and other content produced by Showtime Sports Team. Showtime will continue to air the supporting of this. I already read that. So that's what's going on with boxing, man. And that's what's going on with Showtime. And that's essentially what's going on with Paramount. They've lost their interest in boxing. They've lost their interest in essentially combat sports. And when I look at this situation, why is that? Right? And I'm going back to what I said about like 10 minutes ago. They failed to develop a sustainable business model. Now, I don't watch Bellator. I don't watch Elite Strike Force XC. So I don't know what their content leaves. But again, if you can have a great show with Kyle Chandler, right? Connie Britton, Matt Saracen, Tyler Kirsch, right? The Canadian. You can have amazing actors of football, right? Friday Night Lights. You mean to tell me you couldn't do something like that for the sport of boxing? Of course you can, right? Of course you can. This is not that difficult, man. I could be wrong. Maybe it is extremely difficult, right? Because we don't really know what goes on behind these meetings. We don't know the sport of boxing. And going back to like, it's all about exploitation. It's all about getting minds. All of these fighters end up having the majority of the purses, right? They call the shots. It doesn't trickle down and have this effect on athletes, right? Give me a second, guys. So is the zone going to learn from the mistakes of HBO? Are they going to learn the mistakes of Showtime? Are they going to be able to reinvigorate and build a sustaining model? The zone started at $9.99. Now it's $19.99, right? For every month, $250 a year. Now they incorporated the model of the pay-per-view model, right? If PBC were to go to the zone, more than likely it's going to be $30-40 a month because now they have a whole bigger roster of fighters, and guess what? They're going to want them to be pay-per-view, right? You can't have a stacked card. Let's say Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, John Ryder, David Benavidez versus David Morrell, and to be able to compensate these guys, it'll most likely be pay-per-view. So will the zone push the product of boxing like HBO and Showtime did? Or will they be able to actually have a structured model that is self-reliant and self-sustaining, right? Because if you look in a whole, right? If we look at the NFL again, you have players that make the NFL roster. Let's say for the San Francisco 49ers, they have a scout team. They have a practice squad team that get paid. If you look at, and some of those players make six figures, believe it or not, a couple $100,000, depending if they're like the fourth man in the roster. Maybe they were highly touted, but coming off an injury from college football. And then when they go to the pros, think about like Marcus Lattimore from South Carolina. He was amazing running back, but he tore 2 ACLs in college. He got drafted by the Niners, I think in the second or the fourth round back in 2018 or so, when the Niners still had Frank Gore. He made the practice squad, right? And there are some athletes on the scout team that don't even get to play one game of football in comparison to, let's say, a sparring partner for boxing. Let's say Devin Haney, he probably gets paid a couple of grand for a training camp. So basically, that's a self-sustained, reliable formula. It's structured, right? Roger Goodell sees all 32 owners. Boxing needs that. They need a government body. And when someone fucks up, right, like the owner of the Washington Commanders, Dan Snyder, and they have this type of rape culture going on in their facilities or so, right? They boot them out. They buy them out. And then they replace them with somebody else. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys, man, that the sport of boxing needs to do, and they need to incorporate. Will they continue? Will boxing and DAZN continue to make the same mistakes, or are they going to learn from the mistakes and build a sustaining, self-reliant model? Now, here's the question. How do you do that, bro? How do you make boxing self-reliant? How do you make boxing like the NFL, right? Well, it starts by essentially having a couple of, or the majority of the roster in one programming, having one center that allocates all the sport of boxing, right? Let's say it's DAZN. Once they have all the roster, now DAZN is the go-to place for boxing. I don't have to buy Showtime. I don't have to have Top Rank. It's all in DAZN. Like when I think about a sports company, a sports website, that's where I go to, right? At least when it pertains to the sport of boxing. So then once you have that, you need one face to essentially run everything, right? The executive, let's say, is Joe Markowski. He can oversee and control the owners, right? Kind of like Roger Goodell does and tries to control the owners of the NFL, the owner of the San Francisco Jed York, the owner of the Raiders, right? Mark Davis, the Patriots, so forth and so forth. He has to control Al Heyman. He has to control Eddie Hearn, Ben Shalom, Bob Arum, and Golden Boy. He has to structure and oversee it and help them all have the same amount of budget, give or take. And then that's how you build a sustaining professional model. And then it trickles down. Then you don't stop there, right? You do what the NFL has been doing, college football. They have to incentivize people that might not make it to the pros, right? Maybe they can get a scholarship to go to college, life after boxing, right? Then you don't stop there, right? You start when they're Olympians or national champions or Olympic gold medalists. Then you have an app for those people free of service, right? Where they can build their own model and brand, where they can have like clothing ambassadors and, you know, prime energy drinks or whatever the case may be, and they can make some money in the back end, right? Kind of like what college football is finally doing with the image to likeness program, right? Where a popular player that's carrying the team or whatever, he gets a certain percentage of jersey sales. Boxing has to implement some of these models that these other, whether it's the music business or the other sports programming, are doing. And then more importantly, this, you really need a Creed franchise, a Rocky franchise, or you need like a Friday Night Lights for boxing. You need a show. And that's pretty much simple, man. That's really what it comes down to, and how to like establish a sustainable model. And then if you can, because this is a brutal sport and a lot of fighters end up brain damaged. A lot of fighters have punch drunk syndrome where they have slurred speech and they take painkiller medication. Maybe if you're making a sustainable model, you can offer healthcare. And not just to the parents, maybe to the families. I know this is expensive, but one can dream, right? And guess what? Kind of like how some people join the military for their benefits. Maybe some people, great athletes, will compete in the sport of boxing, right? For its benefits. Rather than just, oh, it's the hurt business. We can't just accept that it's the hurt business, right? We can make it a better business. we can make it a healthier business. You understand what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of untapped potential in the sport of boxing, right? You can sell or review amazing sparring sessions like Triple G had with Canelo Alvarez when Canelo was 19 or 20 years old. David Benavidez sparring Zurdo Bivol. You can give people access to that. Look when Jose Benavidez, right? I'll try to pull it out, sparred Sergey Lipinets. Look when Devin Haney sparred Shakur Stevenson. Look how many views those back sessions of sparring, they did great numbers. Give me a second. Let me try to find it as I pull it up. Jose Benavidez versus Sergey Lipinets, right? Right? 7 years ago, that sparring session between Jose Benavidez and Sergey Lipinets, they did 1 million views. So imagine a site that pays, let's say, Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson to spar one another, and they showcase these sparring sessions. Guess what that does? That popularizes the sport because people are viewing that. So that's Jose Benavidez and Sergey Lipinets. Jose Benavidez also sparred one of these Golden Boy up-and-coming fighters. His name was Frankie Gomez. Right? So these sparring sessions are cult classics. They're iconic. So there's got to be a way to break this path, right, of being a gentleman's sport. And you have to give fans these access to sparring sessions. This is one metric to popularize the sport. Jose Benavidez versus Sergey Lipinets. Because there's an old adage, right, in boxing. Not only do these sparring sessions, are they cult classics, not only do diehards really watch these sparring sessions, right? A lot of the time, fighters and the best fighters, and even some amazing national champions or Golden Glove fighters or tough fighters like Lenny Zapavinga, who had an amazing, brutal fight with Alex El Cholo Salcedo, some of these fighters leave their best potential in that dogfight in sparring. Some of these sparring sessions get extremely fucking heated. There has to be a way that networks tap into by revealing and giving fans access to these fights. You can sell sparring footage. For instance, I don't know about you guys, but if David Benavidez said, hey guys, I'm selling footage from 5 years ago when I sparred Triple G for $5, a copy of a DVD, let me know if you guys like this idea. And guess what? People will purchase that shit. They will purchase that content. Right? When Triple G sparred Canelo Alvarez years ago when Canelo was 19 and 20 years old, people would buy that. Right? It's like, quote unquote, a sex tape, right? Of famous actresses, Pamela Anderson, Kim Kardashian. People are interested in that behind the scenes grimy shit. You can sell sparring fights between popular ass fighters. There's a David Benavidez versus Dimitri Bivol. Who wouldn't want to have access to that? Who wouldn't want to own a copy of that sparring session? Amir Khan versus Manny Pacquiao. I heard those sparring sessions were amazing. Frankie Gomez versus Manny Pacquiao, right? A lot of these fighters leave their fights and their fight in them in sparring. I must have like, give me a second. Yo, 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 what's going on, bro? You interrupted my live.
You in the live?
Yes, sir. I told you, man. You gotta read.
You jerk. All right then.
All right. So what I'm saying is these iconic sparring sessions, there's a market that somebody can tap in where they can pay this quote unquote code of being a gentleman's sport and popularize the sport by their sparring sessions. And this is how you start building the sustainable model. The sparring sessions, you start having amazing programming, right? You can have a behind the scenes. You can interview Frankie Gomez and Jose Benavides professionally afterwards. Hell, do one step further in separate rooms, talk to them, review the fight, the sparring session that they had, and break down behind the scenes with their trainers. There's so many untapped content that Steven Espinoza and that Peter Nelson failed to do because honestly, they don't know what the fuck to do in the sport of boxing. They're not trainers. They're not people that competed, right? Again, going back to Jose Benavides versus Frankie Gomez, these sparring sessions are iconic. I can't stress that enough. There's a market to sell sparring sessions, sparring footage, sparring videos. And some of these videos are fucking epic. Right? Imagine seeing that Ecuadorian fighter, the one that murdered his wife when he sparred Eric Morales. Right? His name is not Edison Miranda. What the fuck was his name? I always forget this guy's name. But it's such a haunting story. Anyway, there's amazing sparring sessions that people can that's a market to tap into. Same thing with Olympic boxing. And this is how you build a sustaining model. And this is how you not necessarily exploit, but this is how you generate revenue. And maybe, let's say Frankie Sanchez, right? Sorry, Frankie Gomez. He quit boxing. Freddie Roach would knock at his door or where he was like being with his homies, and he would basically pull him by the ear and be like, bro, you can be a fucking champion. You can be a millionaire. Stop fucking drinking and stop smoking with your friends. There's stories and documentaries like that of so many. Edwin Valero, that's right, Speed. Edwin Valero. Nice catch, man. He had amazing sparring sessions with Eric Morales, probably Marco Antonio Barrera. All those are untapped potential sparring footage behind the scenes that if HBO started to release some of these as content, as documentaries, people would tune in just to see that sparring. When Devin Haney, let me pull up Devin Haney when he sparred Chuck Stevenson. Everybody was talking about that. Let me see. Devin Haney versus Chucker versus Shaker. All right, right. This is Dante's Boxing Nation many years ago in the past. Right? So there's a whole lot of content that can be produced from HBO and Showtime. But going back to what I said about 30 minutes ago, when you think about boxing, you don't think about the innovators. When I think about Showtime leaving and HBO, I think about opportunity. But guess what? Eddie Hearn and DAZN, I'm afraid they are not the answer. Neither is Amazon Prime. You see what I'm saying? Because when you think about storytelling and storytellers, these guys are giving us recycled fights, recycled messages, right? It's always about Puerto Rico versus Mexico, right? These old narratives. There's nothing new under the sun because that's a flawed model that they've been able to build. Again, going back to what I was saying about the military, a lot of people join the military for its benefits, its GI Bill, healthcare, and things of that nature, and they'll fucking live with the PTSD. Well, boxing, you live with slurred speech, dementia, and brain damage. But what if you started tapping into universal healthcare for boxers? You know what's going to happen? Men that care for their families, they're like, fuck, boxing now has benefits. I can have healthcare for my family. Fuck it, I'll do that sacrifice. I'll entertain and get my nose busted. So there's a whole lot of models that you can continue to just tap into to popularize the sport and make it a self-reliant, self-sustaining, money-pumping machine. But if all of these fighters finally fight each other, like Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, and they're keeping 95% of the revenue, guess what? Boxing as a brand, as a sport, is not going to be able to self-sustain, right? I'm not saying you got to underpay these fighters and make it cheap. No, of course not. They're the ones that are making the sacrifice. But you have to change the adage of, oh, quote unquote, this is the hurt business, and you got to start making it a profitable one. This is a good business. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of your health, but we're going to take care of you. We're not just going to exploit our fighters. We're not just going to exploit the fans. Again, you got to give a fuck about your product, your people, and you got to believe into the sport. Showtime, HBO, Golden Boy, and Top Rank, who try to sell their roster and their companies, these aren't the people that respect and care about the sport anymore. They are trying to sell the fruits of their labor. They quit on us, and we cannot accept that. And honestly, the zone is not the answer. Again, going back to what I said 30 minutes ago, this is a hustle culture. They're only out for themselves, right? And this has been this new movement of people nowadays is they're all about building content, but it's all derivative. Give me a second, man. I got to knock out some push-ups because I'm getting a little heated here, man. So y'all do some push-ups with me. Bunch of fat motherfuckers. That's 10. Nah, man, what I was saying is, so yeah, man, boxing is just not self-sustaining. Eventually, the zone will leave boxing. Maybe it might take 30 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, right? But Eddie Hearn is not the answer. You know why? Because he just looks at, oh, look, man, I got $1 billion. I got the transatlantic deal. Let me overpay these fighters. He's making the same mistake that HBO and Showtime of recent times have done, right? Making the same exact mistake. I'm not saying Canelo Alvarez is not worth $50 million per fight. It's what you generate. But should he get to keep all that money? Yeah, sure. But then by the time that you pay all these fighters, by the time the network gets the deal, there should be like a money jar or, you know, like a savings account that just goes to the boxing sport of itself, right? Everybody has to pay a fee for boxing, just the boxing sport. And then the commissioner, kind of like Roger Goodell, they're like, all right, man, we got to put a cap on each promotional company, and boom. That's what they got to do, man. It's a copycat league. They got to steal the model of the NFL. Start from high school, get to college, image to likeness program, start an app, all these things. Boxing don't have that structure. And look, bro, I'm already done talking about that. This is 45 minutes of talking about the same thing. I hate repeating myself. I will do some push-ups too. I just did a hike a few miles, so there is that. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I started off this podcast by saying hopefully you guys are having good health and good wealth, and let's finish off this year very strong, right? Let me say this, man. So it's been a very good Tuesday, and we have Devin Haney bringing big-time boxing to San Francisco versus Regis Prograis. It was a pretty heated press conference because whoever the strength and conditioning coach is for Devin Haney, I mean, not for Devin Haney, for Regis Prograis, he was talking a gang of shit. Like, it was quite distasteful. Forget about disrespect. This is a press conference. This is a promotion. But guess one thing that they didn't talk about? They didn't talk about, well, I think Regis briefly, mentioned it about that one cover-up fight in Mexico, but he didn't really bring that into a forefront. In fact, Regis stayed quiet the whole time. And honestly, that was commendable because his mouthpiece to the left of Regis, his strength and conditioning coach, man, that boy was horrible. Horrible, horrible. I don't know about you guys, man. But Bill Haney being on the side and being the mouthpiece of Devin Haney, that's not a problem, man. In fact, I like seeing father and son combinations when it comes down to the sport of boxing. Because for the majority of the time, Blood is blood, family is family. That's your seed, etc. They will always have your back. Now I know some families fucking hate each other, some fathers hate their children, some children hate their parents, whatever the case may be. But when you have a situation like Ruben Guerrero and Robert Guerrero, Angel Garcia, Danny Garcia, you know, all of these father to son combos, Bill Haney to Devin Haney, it's amazing to see. I remember years back, right? Floyd Mayweather Sr., Floyd Mayweather Jr. Jr. kicked his father out of the gym, and HBO or Showtime, they had the behind the scenes camera footage of that. That was very hard, sad to see, right? It was very sad to see the son be so disrespectful to Senior. I didn't like that, man. It was heartbreaking. I was like, damn, bro. And I didn't see Floyd Mayweather as this villain or, just doing it for a show in the camera. He was like, nah, man, Roger, my uncle taught me everything, bro. You weren't even here. You was locked up, X, Y, and Z. It looked like it was like a calling to his like, come here, father. I'm like, let me hug you, bro. But like there's so much tension between the two. Maybe jealousy, hatred. Man, I taught you everything you know. And all these, like, man, it was heartbreaking to hear and to see the relationship of a father and son be torn to pieces. It made the rounds. It was what's that one, like, infamy? It was infamous towards Mayweather, but I didn't like seeing that. So I don't know why a lot of people, like, they want to be like, oh, Devin is not a street dude. He's a silver spoon kid. He's he's homeschooled. He went to private schools. It's like, I know we like to glorify the ghettos and stuff like that, but it's not like they forgot where they came from. Like, your job is not to, like, don't we love Chris Algieri? Don't we love how he's educated, how he's like a sports nutritionist, and he was also a champion that gave us an amazing fight versus
Wait,
and gave us a one-sided
Algieri,
beatdown. I'm gonna let him out of the cage versus Manny Pacquiao.
Algieri is hood, bro. I'm messing with you, bro.
Well, I don't know, bro, but like I like seeing educated brothers. I like seeing the educated boxers like Algieri make it into a tough sport in boxing and just be like, you know what? It's not stereotypical. I don't have to be from the slums. I don't have to lay brick. I don't have to, do this to have incredible strong shoulders and forearms. Nah, bro. Like, I was taught sweet science from amazing educators, and I was able to, take it in terms of what my father had built on a foundation of being a middle class, and now we became the 1%. It was epic. There was a hustle and a grind and a beauty towards taking, a model that my father instilled in me, and I didn't follow into his footsteps of going to jail. This is not a righteous passage, right? And I fucking took it to the next level. Yes, I am educated. What the fuck you wrong with that? You see what I'm saying? Like, when, I don't know if you saw the press conference between Regis and Devin Haney, but I was just like,
I haven't yet.
Check your strength and conditioning coach, because he's saying the most ignorant shit, and it's distasteful. And like, bro, you're not gonna get any brownie points over here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not calling out people that are from the ghetto, bro. Like, I'm from the ghetto, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, let's glorify it, bro. I got 10 bodies under my name. You see this fucking tattoo across my neck? Yeah, bro. It was because I got slit, by a knife. And guess what? I fucking tidied it up when I was in jail right here in the county. Like, what the fuck, bro? That sounds like, damn, bro, you lucky to be alive. Yeah, you know what, bro? But I had my homies back. Like, bro, that does not sound like.
It almost sounds like you've been locked up before, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely not, bro. Never. But what I'm saying is, like, that doesn't sound sexy, dog. That doesn't sound cool. It sounds like, damn, bro, like, get away from
it's crazy.
You might just fucking steal my Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Drew, how you been, bro? How's your Tuesday going? How you been, bro?
Good, man. Just chilling. Bro, I decided not to go to the gym today.
Hey, knock out 10 push-ups right now, bro. I just did 10 push-ups on camera right now, bro.
Oh, for real? I'm eating hot fries right now. I'm not trying to get a heartburn.
So you're doing a double negative, man.
I'll do it.
You go to the gym and you're eating hot fries? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Hot fries are amazing, bro. I'm gonna say this when it comes down to hot fries, right? Because at work, we have vending machines and things of that nature. But hot fries and like regular Cheetos, not the hot flaming hot or the extra hot, just regular cheese Cheetos and Fritos, those are the only things for like $1 here that are actually stacked. When I buy like Doritos chips or Ruffles, or even the jalapeno Miss Vicky chips, bro, there's only like
Ooh.
10 chips and they're done. But
Yeah.
hot fries, there's at least like 30 or 40 of those suckers, and boom, you get your bang
Mhm.
for your money, bro.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Going off
So good
script
in
real
bagels,
quick,
man.
because you be on Instagram and you're rolling through these nostalgic pages. You ever come across like a page where it's like the 2000s page or the 90s page, and all they focus is on like the old school Mac computers? They dub it over some fucking nostalgic, very sentimental soundtrack, and then there's like those little carpets of the Hot Wheel cars and the houses, the Magic School Bus. You ever see those? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's
what do you
I
take
get
of that, bro? When
mixed
you
emotions.
yeah. Talk to me about those emotions, though.
Oh
Like,
no,
what
it's
goes through
just
your head when you're like seeing that stuff?
well, I mean, depends what you're talking about exactly. Like sometimes, like the Magic School Bus that'll come on, and then you're talking about yeah, like those yeah, it's like a IG page. Uh, like I
Yeah,
think there's
there's
a
many IG pages that give us those content, right? They'll show us the old school Apple computers where they have like that big old TV bed on the back, and then there's like the purple computer in the back, the blue
yeah.
one, and then there's the fucking floppy disks, right? They'll show pictures
Mhm.
of LimeWire and old Microsoft pinball video game machine that that one game that it always had. And then there's like those Sharpies that are like scented and smelled great. When you look at
Oh
that
yeah.
Toys R Us and nostalgic blockbuster feel. Like,
Hey,
does that?
you were the kid. You were the kid that ate those scented.
No, I wasn't that kid that was eating it, but I'm that kid that like fucking sniffed it for sure, bro. Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. But I might have been that kid that threw a bunch of glue in my hand just to get it and just kind of peel it off my skin because it felt good. I was that kid. But what you may call it? When I look at those videos, right, on the Instagram that are like a minute or whatever, and I make the connection to the sport of boxing and how it's like a
Mm.
dying sport. How do you interpret that, bro? You talked about mixed emotions. So talk about that.
Oh, okay. You're talking about that. I thought you're talking about like I thought you're talking about like just random like stuff that we see in our childhood that we went through, you know. But
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about boxing. You're talking about boxing wise.
I'm talking about everything as a whole, everything that used to be a booming economy, and then all of a sudden, bro, it's like, man, there's a market crash. Oh man, HBO leaves, Showtime leaves. Oh no, Toys R Us is gone. When I look
Mhm.
at shit like that, and I look at these abandoned buildings, right, whether it's at a shopping center, whether it used to be Oshkosh Orchard or Kmart and Sears, and those buildings that are there and they're still abandoned, right? You talk about like the broken window theory type of shit. Look, bro. I'm not trying to get into my Devin Haney, being homeschooled fucking aspect of life, but what I'm saying is like, what do you see, bro? What do you see?
Um, I don't know. I just see like
Money.
where I was at like in my childhood when I
Yeah,
was like when I was watching Magic School Bus or when I was watching like Oscar De La Hoya or when I was actually watching because I was a big George St. Pierre fan and like I just liked the way he carried himself and how much of a beast he was and I just remember being a little kid, and just seeing his like his old school videos just make me feel kind of old, but
yeah,
yeah, bro. I like the Roy Jones. I remember like stuff like watching a lot of his fights because I was like a super casual back then.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
back in 2008 is when he fought Bernard Hopkins, I think, right? 2010, I think. Um, but yeah, I just remember watching that fight and I was like, dang, this guy's like on the downslope, And then I remember just saying that, and then yeah, bro, just seeing him how old he is now and shit like that. I don't know. It's just mixed emotions because it's like, damn, like I wish I could go back in time and just kind of get into like boxing and kind of know the ins and outs. But back then it was really tough to get info like that,
Yeah.
because like there wasn't no podcast. It was kind of like it's still the Wild West, but it's still kind of like if you're trying to be like a boxing journalist, you have to go and get it type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like
feel you, bro.
you become one, but
Let me tell you something,
yeah.
bro. Going back since you didn't really talk about your mixed emotions, you just threw that $10 word at
No,
me.
because I just thought you were talking about yeah, I just thought you were talking about like the shit I've been sending you, like
Oh,
the
okay.
yeah, I thought you were talking about that, like the random shit I've been sending you, but you're
So
talking
what I
about
meant is I guess because I've been talking for 45 minutes, basically to myself until you guys started hopping in. The way I look at it, bro, is like going back to when I see abandoned buildings and I kind of make the correlation to the sport of boxing, right? And HBO and Showtime leaving and company. I think about like, damn, bro, why the fuck instead of like building these like old school cars that I have, why don't I just sell them and get like my boxing promotion license? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying like, bro,
Yeah.
I can that's what I'm talking
I was
about.
gonna tell you something about
Opportunity.
that.
Like I talk about the opportunities. Like I see an abandoned building in Sears, right, or where Kmart used to be, and I'm like, God damn, bro, that's a big ass building. Obviously, I don't have the money to like, or even the idea to like fill it in like with any idea or a product or something. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I can make something out of trash. That's usually what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like,
Well, if you think about it, how do you think these promoters live their everyday life? Like they're looking for opportunity, bro. Like these dudes that have been coming up like as promoting, like I've been
yeah,
watching a lot of interviews from promoters and stuff like that, from like the Boxing Voice and stuff like that, and it's crazy how they get it, bro. It's like it's really like a small world. Like you have to, you don't,
yeah,
of course
no,
you have to know people, but you have to have it's called a C15 license, and that's pretty much like your contractor's license, and you can
right.
promote, right?
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
I agree. I agree. I was researching that, you know what I'm saying? And it looks pretty simple. It's just kind of like getting a USA
yeah.
boxing license to compete. It doesn't seem
Mhm.
that complicated, other than they're gonna tell you like, oh, what's your experience, with like business and things of that nature. But I look at it like this, bro, right? To answer your question, like what do promoters do on an everyday basis? I don't know, but let's just brainstorm and just shoot the shit real quick before we talk about this weekend's fights on the zone. Like, let's say for instance, right? The Monterey County area, or that's the 408 area. There's so many boxes, bro. You have
Oh yeah.
Andy Vences, you have Gabe Flores, you have Ruben Villa, Jorge Maravillo, Jose Marin, Angel Chavez, Justin the Stallion Cardona. You have all
And
these,
you're just naming Selena's
and
boxes, bro.
that's
Like
just exactly that's just one area, right?
you just
Imagine
named,
naming much more San Jose area cats and have them
yeah,
all in one fight. You mean to tell me
exactly,
that people aren't going to show? So what I'm
yeah,
saying is like there's fighters, there's an untapped market, kind of like what like Pro Box is doing, but they're not really
yeah,
building fighters, and you can just make
uh,
sustaining cards.
uh,
The reason I bring up those lists of name of fighters because a few of them are fighting under the Robert Garcia fight card that they're doing their own promotional thing in Fresno.
mhm.
Are we going to go to it?
What day?
I don't remember, bro. They sent me the flyers, but I
Oh yeah. You showed me something at that, but I forgot the date.
yeah. What about the Devin Haney call? Sorry, the Devin Haney fight, bro. You gonna go
Oh
to
yeah.
it?
I
We
mean,
might
what's
just
today?
run into Andre Ward,
It's
and
sold out, bro.
Prince Amiri Jones will probably be there. And guess who'll probably be there too? Steph
He's
Curry.
fighting. He's
Steph
fighting.
Curry. Yes, sir.
Amari's
He's
fighting.
fighting. Hector Tanahara is fighting. Andy Cruz,
I
right?
seen
The
that.
Cuban Olympian who beat Keyshawn Davis. You have, I think, the co-main event. They said Leon Paro versus, fuck, what's that?
Who?
That dude that carry Montana Love. So I say the guy that carries the dog with him, and then the main event obviously would be Devin versus Regis. So that's not a
Mhm.
bad card. And like Ebony Bridges versus some other female fighter chick. I don't know,
Mhm.
but it's not bad. And you're gonna see the homie Amari Jones, right? Amari the Prince Jones. So
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's good,
know,
bro. Like, man, honestly, going back to like the promoting stuff, like there is a lot of fighters that are fucking doing their thing out here. But
yeah,
it's just that there's a factor, there's a living factor out here. Like it's so expensive out there in the Bay Area. It's like it's crazy, like that's why it's hard to get for them to get opportunity. There is talent, but they just lack fucking they lack not discipline, but like uh commitment out there. That you get the commitment, you get the committed guys more on the inland valley, like Modesto all the way down to Fresno. You get nothing but fighters and MMA fighters and wrestlers that are badass. Like the inland fighters in Cali are really the shit, bro. Like yeah, it's just like people. You don't get too many fighters like in San Francisco. It's most you have to go like, if anything, our area has like the best set of fighters, but San Jose obviously is more populated, and
yeah.
they got some dogs, bro. But I know for a fact it's the inland, the people who live away from the coast. like like I said, like 2 hours off the coast, like Modesto all the way, Stockton all the way down. So even Sacramento has they got some fighters. Who was it? Who's from there? I forgot his
Yeah,
name.
there was that dude that
Rob
Xavier Martinez.
Guy. What's his name? Something Guy. Is
No,
that?
but there's also Xavier Martinez, right?
Oh, that's
He's the
right.
one
Yep.
that fought like Robson Conceição, and then
Yep.
he just fought this guy Ortiaga or something from Las Vegas. And then there's another fighter from Sacramento regional area. Yeah, Vince Tillari, right? Richard Torres.
Rob Guy or something like that. That's his name. But he's like a journeyman.
Yeah, no, there's a good list of little fighters out there, bro. That like to your point that you're saying, they are making it big.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
Yeah, bro.
man.
So
Just
there's a lot of untapped like potential, bro, and like market.
Mhm.
So that's why we kind of talked about this, I think, like 2 or 3 lives ago, bro. But
Mm.
just kind of switching topics. 'Cause I don't like really like regurgitating the
Yeah,
same
go ahead.
stories over and over.
Yeah.
Have you had the chance to watch the Regis Prograis and Devin Haney press conference?
Little bits of it because I'm hearing reactions from a podcast, so I'm
Yeah.
hearing a lot of bad stuff from Regis, and I'm hearing Devin's just like smiling the whole time, kind of keeping the same energy, but I'm hearing Regis isn't doing his part as far as keeping the same energy. Like I'm hearing that all the BS with this. You want me to just say? I thought you were just gonna break the news, but yeah, bro, it's
Nah, go
crazy.
for it. Go for it. I
Yeah,
don't break
no,
the news, man. I don't know what's going on.
oh, it's no news that to be broken. I mean, but I'm just saying
Oh,
like
okay.
about the
Have you
trainer, and all that, or not the trainer, but
the strength and
the
conditioning coach? Yeah. No,
yeah.
I seen it. I kind of spoke about it a little earlier. I thought it was distasteful. I didn't really think too.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
a little
it
bit.
was a lot of ignorance. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't witty.
too much
And it was
yelling.
just like I don't know. It was like they were trying to like, why you so turned up, bro? Like you're the strength and
Yeah,
conditioning coach. You're not even the head coach. Why
yeah,
you this? Why do you have so much animosity towards Devin and his father? Like
yeah. Like
I don't know. I
who's
would just
who's
like
the
I understand
trainer?
that your fighters are going to fight, so you don't have to be cordial and respectful. Like I understand that, but I'm just kind of like I
Who's
don't
his
know, bro. I
trainer?
thought he was on some. I don't know who his strength and trainer conditioning coach is. I don't know. I heard it was some dude from Baltimore. He was bald. He had a beard, and I don't know, bro. But he was saying a bunch of ignorant shit. I didn't really like it, but it was somewhat entertaining. But it was kind of like when me and Speed kind of like butt heads and we're speaking over
Yeah,
one another. It's just like, bro, can you guys turn
but
off his
one was
mic
being
because
ignorant.
well,
You
yeah,
know
well,
what?
the I don't know, but it doesn't matter, bro. I guess you got to watch it a little bit on your own times. I wanted to ask you a little bit this Saturday, right, on the Zone, on the I believe it will be the Golden Boy card, Oscar De La Hoya. You have Alexis Rocha, I think,
Mm,
versus Giovanni Santillan. You
mhm.
know anything about the fighter that Alexis Rocha is fighting?
Yeah, he's a solid fighter. He keeps winning by unanimous. Like he doesn't have that power, He just has a sharp jab, and I was trying to see his record right now, but I don't think I can do it right now. Yeah, no, he gets a bunch of unanimous decisions. I keep hitting on his unanimous decision hits, uh, parlays. So that guy tells me that he's rugged, but he doesn't have that finishing knockout power. Unless he overwhelms you.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Sorry, not even that. It has 2.8K views. So I'm watching this fight, right? And obviously, I like Luna. I want some money on him when he beat Aguilar. But I thought, Luna here also beat Giovanni Santillan. And obviously, this is a tricky fighter who's like, I don't know, he's like 5'11, 6'1. He's pretty tall.
you thought
Luna.
he beat him?
And I thought he beat Santillan. And anyway, as you see a little bit on these clips, you guys can watch it on your own time. But you said that he has a sharp jab, and I think he has that too. But he's going to be fighting Alexis Rocha,
Mm-hmm.
and Alexis Rocha right now, bro, he's a bad man, bro.
I haven't watched too
It's
much
a
of it.
bad dude. Ever since his first loss to Rashidi Ellis, mind
Mhm.
you, he just got outboxed and he didn't really want to engage.
But
But
that tells you a
I'm
lot.
trying to find a clip real quick to show you guys.
That
But
doesn't make me too fond of him because Ellis lost to what's his name, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and
but
then
that
Boots
dude
and
that Ellis got beat and he got dropped 3 times, that dude, Roman Lara, That's a bad
Villa.
fucking dude, bro. Oh yeah, Roman Villa. That
Yeah.
dude's bad, bro.
Yeah, but
Oh, he
Boots whitewashed him, bro. My man right here that I have.
But again, he's tough though. He's tough, and he has an understanding of punch selection, and he's got pop in both hands. And even though Boots was able to piece him apart, um, for instance, just because certain fighters can piece up Marcos Maidana apart, up against if you don't have that pop that what's his name Boots Ennis has, that guy Roman Villa could knock out a Rashidi Ellis. He would be able to knock out the Adrian Broner. So Marcos Maidana might not be able to knock out Floyd Mayweather, but he could Adrian Broner. You see what I'm saying? He could Keith Thurman. He could do that to Sean Porter. So don't say that like, oh, Rashidi, or Alexis Rocha is not good. No, bro, Alexis Rocha is the good. Just because he got outboxed by Rashidi Ellis, it doesn't mean much, bro. Like, you know how they say like styles make fights. Forget all that. It's like this guy was also 20, 21 years old at the time. So it was like a prospect meets prospect.
That's literally the only reason why he won the fight, because it was the style. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I agree.
Let me see. Hold on. I gotta do something because something's going on with my themes. What was I gonna show you? Oh yeah, Alexis Rocha. And Alexis Rocha, bro, he has a whole lot of momentum. And
Doug Crawford.
at one point, I wanted to see Alexis Rocha versus Virgil Hunter. I mean Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Hunter, trainer. Nah, bro, but I wanted to see, Alexis Rocha versus Virgil Ortiz. And obviously Virgil Ortiz from Golden Boy, I don't know what's going on to his body. It's breaking apart. He's losing muscle. It's deteriorating when he's cutting weight. So there's rumors that he's supposed to come back sometime and fight maybe at 154. Oscar even said up to middleweight. And everyone says that Virgil Ortiz is a big person. But when I see him on TV, especially like the fight versus Mean Machine, he looks kind of small to me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he looks like our size.
Yeah, like smaller, bro. Like I don't see like a wide defined back. I don't see a lot of definition in his arms.
Yeah,
Or his
nah, me neither.
like, I don't know, bro. I've seen like he has like a Devin Haney body right now. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I don't really see he's being that big of a person, you know. But I could be wrong. Maybe, what shows on camera, it's it's a little fallacy. It's not what it is in person. But bro, Alexis Rocha, do you remember this fight? Alexis Rocha versus Blair Cobbs?
Yeah, he lost to him too, no?
Nah, he knocked him out.
Oh, I keep saying that. Yeah, I know.
But Alexis Rocha was having trouble a little bit with the Flair Cobbs. Cobbs was showing his hand speed, having that razzle dazzle footwork until Blair Cobbs started losing his balance.
Oh,
he
shit.
started huffing and puffing, and Alexis Rocha was landing to the body, to the arms, and just fucking putting a work on him. You see that?
Oh, the ref stopped it?
No. I think eventually the ref does stop it, but I think Blair tastes the canvas twice before the ref stops it.
I didn't get to see that.
But one of my favorite moments of Alexis Rocha, and I'll try to find this clip, right? Alexis Rocha, I think he's trained by his father. And in one of these fights, Alexis Rocha was losing, and his father goes, and I think you might have seen the clip that went viral a little bit on social. He goes, "What the fuck are you doing? You're gonna hate yourself in the fucking morning. Why are you not throwing your combinations? Don't tell me why." Do you know the clip that I'm talking about?
Spanish?
Nah, bro. Let me show you, bro. Alexis Rocha, I say corner speech or some shit. Yeah, the pep talk. Check this shit out, bro. Hold on. This is the moment I became a fan of Alexis Rocha, bro. Hold on. Let me see. Hopefully I can y'all let me know if it looks good on your guys' end on your phone.
That's good.
And let me know if you guys can hear it.
You're gonna fucking hate yourself in the morning. Why are you pulling back? No, don't tell me yes. Why? Stay inside. He's hitting the right hand here because you don't fucking listen. God damn it, Lexus. Where are you supposed to be? Do not back up. in the last round. Okay. Listen to me, son. Okay? You cannot do what you just did that last round. Te toca un chingo de eso y te quedas parado. Come on. Es el último.
Yo, can you hear it, Drew?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, that's awesome. And guess what? After his father tells him that speech, like, "¿Qué chingados estás jalando? Why are you going back? What happened to the 3 punches?" And Alexis is just like right there. And anyway, that moment, bro, the next round, boom, 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 drops the motherfucker with a dude. It was amazing, dog.
What fight is that for?
Let me see.
The Blair?
The intense corner pep talk inspires Alexis Rocha to victory. Let me see. Let me see. I don't remember what the fight is. It just came. Es California. It's yeah, I don't know what fight it was. Let me see. More information. Okay, let's see if it shows anything who he fights. Oh, it's a guy versus Solomon. So Alexis Rocha versus maybe Sam Solomon or Brad Solomon.
Suleiman.
No, not Suleiman. Solomon. Let me check it out real quick. Hold on. Alexis Rocha. He fought Solomon, which is Brad Solomon. Brad Solomon was 28-2. So if you guys have the zone, maybe you guys can go browse to the catalog and watch the whole fight and see that amazing pep talk from the corner. And then in that next round following, in the final round, I think he scores a knockdown. Obviously, I can't show you the whole clip. Dude, that's when I became a big fan of Alexis Rocha, just off that pep talk.
So, I'm more of a fan of his coach.
Yeah. Dude, his coach is fucking intense. You know Rudy Puga?
Oh, yeah. Duh,
okay. Yeah. So one time I had a conversation with him, right? We were talking about Ruben Villa. I'm not going to go into the depth of the conversation.
Oh, his dad.
Yeah, his dad. Sorry, not his father, Junior, but his dad. That's who he reminded me of. Because, there's this up-and-coming fighter, right, that Rudy Puga trains, or used to train. I don't know if he's still training now. I think his name is Adrian Serrano, right? He would go into, like, the Ruben boxing gym. He goes to the Rock sometimes, and he'll be sparring, nephews of mine and things of that nature. And if you ever see Rudy work that corner, or when he's talking to you, like, off camera or, off the ring, bro, that dude's fucking intense, bro. He reminded me exactly like the corner of Alexis Rocha, exactly how he talks from English to Spanish and that intensity and kind of like that wrinkle, but like tough skin that you get from being in the song for long days, like campesino type of attitude, bro. Yeah, I was just like, that shit reminds me of home, bro. Like, yeah, that was good stuff. But anyway, that's when I became a huge fan of Alexis Rocha, bro. And ever since then, that fight with Blair the Flair Cobbs, and so I'm very excited for this weekend's fights. I love seeing Alexis Rocha. He's really stepped up his game.
That win is aging well. The Blair Cobb win. Well, he's going on to do good things.
Did you know that Blair Cobb sparred Devin Haney?
Oh, I mean, I think I heard something about that. But I heard Devin. I heard Devin
was doing well against Devin Haney, bro.
Really?
But he started to run against. He started to run and sparring against Devin Haney as well. And
is there a video?
Devin was like 16 years old at the time. Hold on.
Oh wow!
I'll show you guys this thing too.
That's a young kid right there.
Yes, sir. Let me see. So Devin is the one in white, and then Blair the Flair is in red.
Oh, he's way bigger.
He's much bigger than Devin. Ranger and taller. And Devin is still a kid right here, I believe.
Don't look like a kid. I think this looks recent, bro. Oh no, you could tell. Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
I was about to say like he's not. That's not his real like size, but like right now he's a lot bigger.
No, that's his real size, bro.
No, I'm saying like, are you sure he was already pro right here, right? Pretty loud, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's I gotta lower it down. It's fucking hurting my ears. But anyway, bro. So there's amazing. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question, because I kind of talked about this when I was just talking to myself for a bit before you guys hopped in. David Benavidez sparred Triple G. David Benavidez sparred Zurdo Ramirez. He also sparred Dimitri Bivol. If David Benavidez on his, David Benavidez website.com, whatever it is, if you had to pay $5 to own the sparring footage that he had with Bivol, Triple G, and Zurdo, would you buy that?
Yeah, yeah, I'd buy that. Like, what was the main events again? Triple G and who?
No. So you've heard the rumors that David, when he was losing weight, when he was a kid, like around age 16 and 17 years old, or even 15, he was sparring Triple G and all these guys, right?
Yeah. Oh, like
Okay. Well, I'm not too sure if that's the correct age time limit, but
yeah, I mean, I would get it.
the story of David is that him and his brother were good fighters in the amateurs. Obviously, Jose Benavidez was, trying to get, he was on a hot list of the Mexican Americans, him and alongside Frankie Sanchez during that
The
time.
youngest, he was the youngest national Golden Glove champ.
Right. David had similar accomplishments, but what happened was David started playing video games and being a kid and didn't really care too much about boxing. So he ballooned up to like 250 pounds. But during this time, he would still spar the likes of Triple G and these fighters, right? Because of his older brother Jose, he was a Freddie Roach fighter during this time. He was sparring Manny Pacquiao, so he had access to a lot of these fighters. David was a big body, had experience, and he sparred a lot of these dudes. I don't know about you, but I like seeing amazing sparring footages, kind of like when Frankie Gomez sparred Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez sparred Sergey Lipinets. Amir Khan sparred Sean Porter. Amir Khan sparring Pacquiao. Pacquiao sparring Sean Porter. What I'm saying is, if there was an outlet that had all this access to amazing sparring sessions,
Imagine you pay like,
why would exactly?
like
Wouldn't you want to
$5,
pay to
like
see that
two,
shit?
like like $2 to $5 to watch a sparring match on a Tuesday night, and you see that shit, and you see Manny Pacquiao get dropped, and then you see him get up, and you see him get down, and then you're like, all right, like that was a good sparring match, but that wasn't a real fight, and that was
Yeah.
entertaining. No one got hurt, and dude, that's a good idea. I mean, that's but that would actually be messing up their business too, because they can actually gauge, who's gonna win better. Like favorites not gonna be favorites anymore. Like A side's not gonna be A sides. It's gonna ruin all that.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I understand what you're saying, but check this out. I think this was a couple years back, and Sean Porter was going to fight Keith Thurman, right? And I think there was an injury, or the fight had to get postponed for a little bit. But Sean Porter was using social media at the time because he was always kind of reserved and stuff like that. But as he was understanding how to promote himself, I think the fight was postponed versus Keith Thurman. So he ended up going on like an Instagram live or a fucking Twitch live, and he was streaming a sparring session, 40 minutes. I don't know if you saw this, and he showed the whole world. Wow. Right? I'll try to screen share. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm not trying to blow you guys.
After the fight, he did this after a fight.
No, it was before the fight. So right here is Sean Porter warming up, and he was gonna spar for like 20 minutes or so. This fighter. And he showed tough sparring ahead. He reviewed tough sparring ahead of the Thurman fight. My bad. I think this is the one.
Who's he sparring right there? It looks like Mosley.
It looks like your Denny Ugas, but I forgot the kid's name.
Scooby?
Nah, it's not Lubin. Lubin's a southpaw. But anyway,
Scooby.
I kind of through it.
Remember Scooby? That dude, Scooby?
Scooby. Yeah, I don't know. You might be right. So anyway, Sean Porter revealed this during during his build-up fight versus Keith Thurman. And it's very rare that fighters do this, because when you do this and you're sparring, especially in preparation for a fight, there's angles, there's there's movements that you don't want to reveal. There's a game plan, right? And you don't really want to quote unquote expose yourself. That's what they call it, like a gentleman's sport and stuff like that. But let me see who I'm trying to read the comments to see who he's sparring.
Not even in the description.
Sean Porter tough sparring ahead of the Thurman fight. In this Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter video, Sean Porter trains and prepares for his Thurman versus Porter fight. No, it doesn't even. Let me see.
Wow.
Porter is that dude. Win or lose a draw, he never fails to impress. Okay, let me see.
Sparring his brother. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh, Good sportsmanship at the end. Damn, bro, I forgot who he was sparring. You don't even know here either.
It don't show.
I'm trying to see who it is.
Is it that fuck, we seen him fight last time. He's from Ohio.
I don't know. This was 7 years ago, right?
Oh damn.
This was 7 years ago, so this was in recent times. And anyway, when Sean Porter was doing this, bro, right? This was big. I was like, bro, Sean Porter is an innovator. He understands how to build momentum. People are gonna tune in. So imagine, and Sean Porter isn't the most popular fighter, right? In the world in the sport of boxing. But let's say Canelo showed you 40 minutes of him sparring Ronald Ellis, of him sparring Oscar Valdez, or I don't know. I think he has this Australian fighter in his camp. People would fucking tune in the millions. Especially, let's say if he was showing you, live sparring footage in preparation for a David Benavidez fight.
Against somebody like that, somebody that we don't know, right?
Exactly. Against somebody that we don't know, but in preparation in lieu, just a month ahead of fighting David Benavidez for next year. Bro, that's how you promote the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
Without the shenanigans, without the fuckery, without it, just
yeah, exactly. Without all the
a simple Tuesday of a 3-month training camp, and this is what goes on Tuesday, Thursday,
without the
Saturday.
politics, all that. Just like
it's just a person. Absolutely, it's just a person on their cell phone or their DSLR, just showing the fight, attaching it to their YouTube channel, and then boom, enjoy 3.5 million views for free.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
And just not even that crazy sparring. It's like you're not trying
and
to
it's
show
not that crazy sparring because
you're not trying to show like what your weaknesses are. You're just trying to show.
Absolutely not. It's just there's defensive sparring, there's offensive sparring, and then there's okay, this is where we're going to implement the game plan, and then there's the other ones like, all right, bro, take off your headgear. We're going to have the other fighter with bigger gloves just so you don't get cut up. And we want to, test your punch resistance as you're cutting weight.
Yeah.
So there's multiple variations of sparring, right? So you don't have to review everyone. You just I'm going to review you guys soft touch sparring, whatever the case may be. But it's content, and it's content that's happening in every single gym, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, right? And imagine watching Richard Torres spar somebody in Tulare County Gym in his backyard, give or take. Xavier Martinez getting preparation of sparring for Robson Conceição. Because the reason I bring up these sparring sessions and highlight these moments is because
why'd you bring it up?
That's the direction that the sport of boxing needs to start implementing, right? HBO, Showtime, they have the thing called Inside the NFL. They have this thing called Hard Knocks, where they follow a team throughout the whole year. I think last year was the Detroit Lions, the year before that, the New York Jets, or this year's the New York Jets. And you're showing kind of like Aaron Rodgers throw a touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson, Dalvin Cook, new signees behind the scenes of, to bring in. They need to do that in boxing, bro.
So you know how I was thinking, you know how they go live, right? You know how Sean Porter went live, and he had in preparation for Thurman. They should have had set something up, like the network should have set something up where they're there going live, right? And they go live, they spar at the same time. That way they're not watching each other go live, at the same time.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I was just joking. I wasn't pissed, but I just kind of want to see, like, there's a lot of people are missing out on this content. And this is when it comes down to enlightening your fan base and bringing like cult fan base. I feel like these executives for Showtime and HBO, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I think because right now everything is we're in the crossroads right now with like cable television and YouTube doing a big thing. I think right now television, like network television, is like maturing, because we got to there's some ninks and wrinkles in the cable television world that's going down, and that those things need to go down, before innovation starts to set in, because I feel like there's a lot of things going on in the background besides like boxing, all this shit, and they're actually everything's gonna get re-innovated.
Yeah,
television is
no,
gonna get
I agree,
renovated,
right?
and I just feel like it's
All
gonna be
those
different, bro. Like,
direct
yeah,
TV, satellite TV, all those.
bro. Like, I'm hearing Showtime has something rolled up their sleeve, bro. Like, they got something cooking, bro. Like, I'm hearing they got some big shit going on. Like,
Showtime got big shit going on, or
yeah,
Paramount's got big shit going on.
Showtime.
What about
I
HBO?
I don't know. I don't
So
know.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. When you think about HBO, what do you think about?
I think about cult classics. I think about like as far as the ones that the very first fight or my memory remembers watching is Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. I was a little kid, bro. And I just still remember that because I was like at my aunt's house through marriage, and I just remember seeing.
And then we're barbecuing, and the
Yeah,
whole family got together, and it was on the news. It was on the
and there
newspaper.
was a
It
jump
was
house.
circulating, right?
Don't forget the jump house.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I'm saying.
You
That's what boxing used
know?
to do, bro. It used
Yeah,
to unite people. It used
yeah,
to people. We used to have barbecues, right? They
yeah.
would used
No,
to
yeah.
do like little quinelas where round one, and everybody would
Quinelas.
do this little raffle. Oh, this fighter wins by decision, by KO, whatever. So
Oh,
we used to have these little raffles, right? And it's just like
yeah.
$10. It was a pool.
Okay, quinelas. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. I don't fucking know.
Oh,
But that's what we used to do. That's what boxing used to do. It
yeah,
used to unite.
yeah.
And we didn't know we didn't know about all these like kerfunkles and all these beefs between promotions. We
Mhm.
probably knew they existed, but it wasn't in the forefront. It
Yeah.
wasn't much more adamant. It
I'm
wasn't
hearing. I'm hearing
it
it's
wasn't
not.
in our face.
I'm hearing it's
They
worse,
got
bro.
shit done, bro.
I heard shit's
Or
gonna be worse though because they're gonna do their own thing. They're not gonna go to like Amazon just yet. I
yeah.
think Amazon already has like a monopoly on all this shit. Because did you know Amazon already works with the Zone and they already do they broadcast their fights in other countries.
No, I
So
did not
they
know that, but that doesn't surprise me.
yeah.
It
So
seems
they got
kind
shit
of
on
like a
lock, bro.
logical thing to do. Yeah, no, I agree. So let me ask you this, bro. Right. When I ask you a question, what do you think about HBO? What do you think about, right? When you think about HBO, what do you think about? I think about The Wire. I think about The
De La Hoya,
Sopranos.
I think of that.
I think about Game of Thrones. We talk about stories and
Oh
storytelling,
wow.
right?
That's what it reminds you of?
Yeah, when I think about HBO, I look at the content, the storytelling, the shows that they produce. I don't think about
Wait,
boxing.
so when you were younger, you were into HBO because of that?
When I no. When I
No?
was younger, we had DirecTV, but we had it only because our neighbors used to work for DirecTV. So they used to do like, oh, we have this package, and they would run the wires from their house to us, and we would just pay like side money. I'm not supposed to
Uh,
say this shit, you feel me? But
uh,
like that's how you. And I wasn't really into watching HBO. I was watching cartoons.
guys, we got him.
I was
I'm
watching
just
like
kidding.
Jimmy Neutron. I was a little kid. But when I think about it, of the past 10 years of my life, when I was 18 and I can afford to buy my own stuff, I was watching The Wire. I was watching Game of Thrones. I was watching The Sopranos. And that's what I think about HBO, True Detective. I think about the great content that they produced, right?
Yeah.
When I think about Showtime, honestly, I don't think I've ever watched a Showtime show. I don't think about, my brother has, he tells me, oh, what about Ray Donovan? Liev
Dude, they
Schreiber,
got some weird
he's the
ones.
narrator that does HBO All Access or
Yeah.
24/7 with HBO. So but I never watched a Showtime show.
Yeah,
So
no.
for me, when I think about Showtime, I think about Showtime boxing. That's the only reason why I care. I
I
don't even
think of
know
the
what
other way
show they're
around.
showing. Maybe the Equalizer 2 or with Denzel. I don't even know. But basically what I'm saying is,
I think of the other way around. But go
oh,
ahead.
so you actually watch Showtime shows?
Yeah, because I had that app before and they had shows on that and I had access on my TV to the channel as well. So I remember just watching like Don Kirk. That's where I watched Don Kirk on Showtime, but
Dunkirk, the movie?
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And then
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
Christopher
they
Nolan joint right there. Yeah, that's a good movie right there.
like it was tied to my Xfinity cable network. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I got
Let me
that.
ask you something though. So
But
as you notice,
HBO reminds me of boxing.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. HBO does remind me of boxing as well. Obviously, Max Kellerman and Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant. If I
Yeah.
was 50 years younger, I'd kick your ass. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Now that DirecTV and cable television, people, have a Roku stick and they're watching all these things, right? So there is a change of direction. The smart TVs
Even
you
better,
can buy the apps.
my Roku's built into my TV now.
Yeah, I say agreed. You know what I mean? Now your smart TVs have that shit. You can download
It's
apps.
evolving.
When you look at the download apps, right? We're gonna come to a certain time where apps will be obsolete. Because when you look at it, it's like, okay, I paid 200. Let's say you have cable television still, you have DirecTV or I don't know, Comcast, whatever deals that you guys have. If you guys still have it now, I haven't had fucking DirecTV or anything of that for like, I don't know, bro, maybe like 8 years now.
Oh wow.
I don't think I've ever had it ever since I moved into that home.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it now, you have Netflix, $20 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
You have Hulu, ESPN, all that, another $15. Disney app, right? It's like a bundle. That's $35. You have the HBO, like $12. That's 47. Let's say you have Showtime app. That's another 15. So that's $60.
But I think,
Eventually, it's gonna start adding up.
yeah,
Apple TV. It's gonna eventually add up, and you're like, God damn, I'm basically paying for 4 or 5 channels.
yeah.
When DirecTV used to give me 200, but I only watched like 3, right?
Uh-huh. I think
It's gonna be
it's
the
all.
same thing.
Yeah, I think it's all gonna get bundled. Like eventually,
Yeah.
it'll all get bundled with some kind of payment plan, because right now everything's in limbo. Like ESPN's trying to figure out like what the fuck they're gonna do, because they got Pat McAfee that they're paying, and then they got a bunch of co-hosts like and all these people like on ESPN are pretty much prepping to get let go, because Pat McAfee's just the star of the show, and his guys, he's got like a whole crew. Like
So
everything's in limbo. They're trying to figure it out as
I agree.
everything's evolving.
So you said something very interesting. You said bundles.
Yeah, they're
Everything
gonna
will
bundle
eventually
everything
be
up.
bundled. Like for $15, you get Disney, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. And
Yeah,
you might get ads in between, right? So that's
yeah.
a bundle. You get 3 things for $15, which is a
It's gonna be
fucking
a
good
trend.
trade-off.
It's gonna be a
It's a
trend,
great deal. Why can't boxing get out of its own way and give us boxing bundles?
right?
Hey,
I
you
think
buy
they
one
will.
pay-per-view, guess what? If you buy this
Yeah.
Canelo Jermel Charlo pay-per-view, I'm gonna give you 2 bundles of the next pay-per-views for half price off.
Yeah.
Why can't they fucking do that, bro?
Yeah, get all three of them. You get the next 3 pay-per-views for free, or like some shit like that.
Or like 50% off or 75%
Yeah.
off, just so you can still pay for the other ones, but at
Yeah.
least it's at a reduction price, right? Kind of
Imagine
like a
paying.
coupon deal. Hey, buy one get one free.
Yeah.
And that's appealing to people.
Or one
So
price
if
for
you
all
guys
3.
are fucking rich.
Yeah.
If you guys are rich and you guys don't live paycheck to paycheck, and you guys are doing great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully, you guys have great wealth and great
Like,
wealth. Healthy
yeah,
wealth.
one price
But-
price for all networks, for all the apps.
That's what I'm saying. Give me a bundle deal, bro. In fact, throw me a Caleb Plant shirt and a hat. I want to rock that shit. Give
Yeah.
me a fucking Canelo action figure.
Give me
and
I was gonna say
boxing
that.
ring.
I was gonna
You
say
know what I'm
that.
saying? Like, give
A
me some
bobblehead.
bundles, bro.
A
Why no
bobblehead.
mother. That's what I'm saying, dog. Like, why can't you do this, bro?
A fucking a cap. One of those, the caps. The volleyball caps. What are they called, man? The raise.
Yeah.
Visor
not
caps.
A fedora, but yeah, I feel what
Visor.
you're saying. Yeah,
Give me a visor
That's what I'm saying, bro.
with the cool
I want-
WBC shades.
that's what I'm saying, bro. You have to associate a product with merch.
Give me a WBC chain.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, give me a chain. Give me fucking and Canelo Alvarez Panini boxing card. Give me
that's something out of our hands. Like they gotta partner up with Panini.
But I'm saying, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be Panini. You can make your own thing called Boxing Hive card collections. You can make your own fucking thing off the top real quick. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, give me bundles where like people can buy this shit where it isn't too expensive. You gotta get the trust of people again. You know
did you watch that commercial? The State Farm commercial? He goes, I got 2 words for you. Bundle home and auto. And he goes,
bundle home and auto. Yeah, you talking about like auto insurance and home insurance?
no, and then he goes, but that's 4 words. Not if you bundle them.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's actually pretty funny. That's good stuff, right?
That reminded me of that.
That was State Farm with the red shirt and khaki pants.
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
goes,
no,
not
that's good
not
stuff,
if
bro.
you bundle them.
That's fucking funny, guy. I wish I
Yeah,
came up with that.
yeah,
Now that was good
yeah.
stuff, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like boxing needs bundles. So if you
Mhm.
own the zone, throw in Showtime in there, throw in ESPN Plus. Obviously, they have network deals and stuff. But I'm saying if you can't do that with other major players, maybe you can, buy one pay-per-view, get the other one half off. It's just like boxing. It's I don't know, bro. It's almost like they're run by robots, and they have this cold, like, oh, those are humans. Those are people, and we're like this elite, and they're like, yeah, they're just suckers and dumb, and they're just going to. And I feel like they're out of tune with
Can you YouTube
reality,
that?
bro.
Can you show Warp Speed that commercial? Because the reaction after he starts to shake right after he's like, oh, and realization. But
Oh,
you don't
I don't
have to.
know,
You don't
man.
have
I
to. You
think
don't have to.
State Farm would flag my channel down, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Nah,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, that's just the way I look at it. So when I think about like Steven Espinoza, Showtime, Peter Nelson, and HBO, let me ask you a question. Do you think they failed boxing or boxing failed them? Or why do you think,
Um.
let's say Golden Boy and Top Rank were to sell their boxing companies
mhm.
and basically their catalog of fighters, right? Do you feel like they're betraying the fans by fucking moving elsewhere?
No, I just feel like it's lack of attention. I think we have felt boxing as a whole because we got to make this whole thing work. Like they're providing us what we want to watch. They really going out of their ways to promote shit and putting in the groundwork to actually make things happen. And they're just trying to things got to be feasible, bro. Like they're not just rich promoters. They like some of them are trying to make money. Some of them are like obviously trying to make a big good profit. So we gotta help. We pay their bills pretty much,
Right.
and we can't let them not we can't just tell them not to pay their bills. Like we gotta it's a teamwork. We gotta garner more interest. It's just the word of mouth. People.
Let me ask you another question then. If boxing had healthcare and boxing had benefits, kind of like how the military has benefits, right? GI Bill and reduced healthcare and all these things. Would you sacrifice your body to become a boxer if boxing had benefits like that?
um no, I wouldn't, because I think they should provide you with that. I think it should be like the bare, like that's like the bare minimum, bro. Like you should be provided with all that because it's expensive, and it's actually like it's long term. It's like a long term thing that you have with your brain now. Like you got to deal with it. And sometimes,
Yeah,
most of
yeah.
the time, it gets worse throughout time. And you're if you get punched a lot, bro, it's like there's no fixing that, bro. Like, and you can't get a job after that. So it's more than just health insurance, because yeah, like
Yeah, I agree.
Jose Salaya, like it's like how you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
how you think that's been, but imagine just a random fighter that just lost his ability to talk. It's like, and he's still young. He's still got to work. Like what does he do for a living after that? Because
So yeah, so
yeah.
the reason I ask you that question, and I'll introduce you right now, Speed, is the fact that let's say that there was a governing body, right? Not just a sanctioning belt company. Let's say there was a governing body that oversees boxing as a whole, and they started to, take a fee from boxing and boxers. So, like for instance, Tank versus Ryan Garcia, right? They sold 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. Probably 90% of the money went to those fighters. Everybody gets their cut, etc. But boxing didn't take a cut, right? Just the fighters maximize their profits. The network deals got theirs and their trainers, and then it trickled down. But it didn't trickle down to the boxing as a brand as a whole. If they started, if there was a boxing fee just for the sport of boxing, so they can have some type of healthcare, kind of like their own, it's called California, like their own purse account. I don't know, like uh,
The what?
governmental, like
Are
companies, right?
you talking
Where
about Wick?
Nah, not Wick. It's kind of like it's called a purse account. It's kind of like their own version of
Social
a
Security.
401k. If boxing had their own version of a 401k, right? Like their own way to like their retirement fund, like a pension to give fighters healthcare because you do leave with punch drunk syndrome, dementia, brain damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
These fighters, like you mentioned, one locally, right? You leave fucked up, you leave scarred,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have battle scars and shit. So there's no retirement fund for boxers. It's basically whatever you're able to make out of it, right? Floyd Mayweather makes a big thing about boxing didn't retire me. I retired on my own account. A lot of fighters don't have that luxury. And it's because boxing as a brand, there is no boxing as a brand. There is no structure as a one. Everybody's out for their own. What's going on, Speed? How you been? And yeah, man, give us your thoughts about everything that's been going on. Y'all hold it down. I gotta use the restroom.
Okay. Well, good even fall to one and all. Good even fall to Drew, and of course our interlocutor, a very thoughtful individual. Considering that he always invites fellas like Drew and myself to rob him of his precious time so that we can just spit out what we consider to be important tidbits of information when perhaps a lot of people may disagree whether they are important in the first place. But nonetheless, it is always an opportunity for us to provide our opinion, Drew and myself, Warp Speed, about one of the things that we love most in life, which is the sport of boxing. So, for that, thank you very much to homie Ricky and Drew. Always a pleasure, sir. How do you do?
Good man. Good. Good. How about you, man?
Look, I love how you two guys get along, right? I would almost say that you guys are probably best friends, probably the same age, uh, do a lot of the same things because you and him just mesh. You guys just go together. You bounce off ideas of each other. You guys never interrupt. He hears you out. You hear him out. You offer him questions. He answers them. He responds similarly to you. And why is it that whenever I hop on a live, I'm always arguing with both of you? I don't know. It's just
Maybe
but
because you say stuff like KSI beats Carmel Moten.
It's about being respectful.
well, maybe you're the one who thinks that Carmel Mutson beats Lee Wood.
He does.
I absolutely think that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. See, there you go. All right, yeah, yeah. Some guy that's been doing it for 20 years and has beaten three or so champs. All of a sudden, will lose to the guy that has one fight because he's beating little
Literally.
kids when he's 15 and
Literally.
16 years old.
He
Yeah,
will
literally,
literally
man.
eat him
Literally
up.
will beat. Yeah, that's this is the reason why the sport of boxing is in the state that it is
Why?
because we disrespect the people that have put in the work because we think that what we
Lee
consider
Wood,
a good
Lee Wood
the,
didn't do what Carmel Moten did at his level ever in his life.
because we think that because a kid can do what he can with headgear on for 10
He's
years or
already
so,
done it.
6 years or so, because I think he's 17 right now. I
He's
think he's
already
17 right now, and I think he
he's
started like
already
around
sparring.
7 years of age.
He's already sparring guys that are better on his record.
Again, sparring. So one of the trends of this conversation, right, has been a lot about why these fighters don't capitalize on their sparring matches, right? You guys went off on a good hour talking about why don't they make videos about sparring? Why don't they sell their videos? Why don't they promote themselves whenever they just go up in the ring and start working on things? Why? Because that's just work. What takes place in the sparring session is supposed to be nothing else besides one guy and another guy working on defense while the other guy works on offense, or vice versa. That's all it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be an indication of whether or not those guys fight like that in real life, right? Because they're working on things. This is why you never take sparring sessions and you run with them, and then you say stuff like, "Oh man, this David Benavides and Bivol fight is going to be good because I heard about this thing." Or better yet, how about let's take it to something that really happened? Oh man, Surdo Ramirez once got the best of better
Look,
BF, and he hurt
Carmel
him to the
Mullen,
body, and then
Carmel Mullen,
better, and then Bivol decided to
hey,
quit. Look,
hey, Carmel Mullen could have beat Lee Wood 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he could have beat Lee Wood. Like I'm telling you, bro.
and this is the absurdity. This is the reason why the sport is in the condition that it's in. It's in the way that it's in.
All right.
Because
So what
again,
about Andy
what
Cruz?
you
What
consider
about Andy Cruz?
greatness, what you consider greatness just to your eye test does not pan out in real life. You have to put in the
Yeah,
work. And the problem that I have with people such as yourself, such as yourself, is that you guys will disrespect the fighters that toil day in, day out, put in the blood, sweat, and tears because one day they have a bad outing, or God forbid, Drew
I'm
or
not
homie
saying that.
Ricky will
I'm not
take
saying
a
the outing.
sparring session,
I'm saying,
where they're
I'm saying,
working on something and
bro.
headgear, and then say that guy
What
will
I'm
beat that
saying,
guy because guess what? That guy
look,
looked bad that day.
but what
No
I'm
one
saying,
has ever said that.
I know.
So
No one
you're
has
putting like you're painting a
words in my
picture.
mouth.
This is why we argue with you, bro.
Yeah.
Because
What? No. Listen, I just barely hopped in here, and all of a sudden, both of you guys are hopping in against me to attack my position. I
because
mean,
you
literally, can
basically
I
said
talk?
you're
No,
How long did you guys
you're
cook?
throwing words in our mouth.
Hey,
That's
how
why.
long? Because
exactly you're
look,
putting
the
words
re
on like we
no,
never even
you
said
no,
that.
I'm not putting no words. I'm not putting no words, Drew. You're the one who said Carmel Mutton at 15 years of age 2 years ago could beat Lee Wood. That's what you just said. I'm not
That's
putting
his
words in your mouth.
opinion. That's
But
his
I'm not
opinion.
putting words in your mouth,
Bro,
but
bro.
then
hold on, hold
you
on,
said
hold on,
something
hold on,
after
hold
that.
on. First and foremost, I don't even know why you're. This is why we have to mute you, bro, because you bring a
Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys a funny
Listen, hold
story,
on,
right?
hold on. I had to mute you because off the get go, bro, you bring some dumb energy, bro. Yes, Drew said that Carmel Moulton would beat Lee Wood. That's his opinion. But you said that if they have a bad sparring session, we're gonna be like, oh, this guy's gonna beat him because he's sparring pros. But you're inferring that he's gonna have a bad outing, he's gonna be a shit fighter because of one bad sparring session. Relax.
I
It's
didn't
like
say it. Yeah.
those things don't even equate with one another. So that's why I just like, you don't
No,
gotta
no, 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 no. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing. If you guys are gonna start doing that infantile thing, that you guys feel that your opinions are so sacrosanct and important that you guys have to mute me in order to shut me up because I have a difference of opinion, pointing out the hypocrisies and the ludicrous aspect of your thinking. Then
Is that you
I'm gonna
playing?
tell you one thing. You guys can go back and play your games and bounce off ideas and rub each other's minds and massage your egos because I'm not here to start doing this crazy old butt kissing that you guys are doing with each other.
well, hold
That's
on,
what
hold
you
on.
guys are doing.
When you
It's
Dude,
first
ludicrous.
hold on, Speed,
It's
hold on, hold on, hold
no.
on, hold
So
on, hold
here's
on.
the thing. I'm
No,
gonna
Speed, hold on.
bounce off
We gotta
so that
first
you
address the
guys can
listen,
have fun. I'm gonna
listen,
bounce off and you guys can have fun because this is ridiculous.
look, relax. See what I'm saying? First and foremost, you came in here first saying that why is it that me and Drew are respectful towards one another and we can bounce off ideas? You know why? Because we hear each other. We actually let each other talk. When you come in, you just want to butt heads and talk over people. Bro, I have a soft spoken voice. I'm not on that type of energy. Me and Drew can just bounce and shoot the shit because it's cordial. We're not trying to up one another. We're trying to learn and find some like just talk. You come in here, get all blabbermouth. Oh, you're like, bro, what are you talking about? This is where that saying "you're wrong" comes from, bro. I don't know if you have a stressful day, but relax, Speed. So hopefully you can come in and actually be like an adult because we're
yeah.
just
I
talking and
was saying.
having fun.
I
I
was
don't
just
know.
saying.
You come in, oh, bro. That was crazy. Anyway, what's
Yeah.
going on? Go for it, Drew.
Yeah, I thought he was being sarcastic, but he was being serious.
Yeah,
But
like, bro, we're not going against you. It's just like you can't just put people like I don't know. That's just weird, bro.
yeah.
Like
I think he just doesn't want to come on. He was just giving an excuse to leave. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was. But what's it called? I was just saying like the like Lee Wood isn't moving like Carmel Moulton. He's just not moving like him, and that's what I'm saying. He's just Carmel Moulton's on another level with how he looks, even how he shadow box, how he just looks in the ring. It almost
Right.
correlates how they do inside the ring, and it's correlating right now. It's like in a way, I was looking at him spar. I was like, bro, this is fucking legit. How he's moving, he's because everything you gotta everything's repetitive. You're doing the same thing you were doing in training camp as you do in the fight. So if I see you do that in training camp, you're gonna do that in the fight most likely. And that's what I'm saying. And it's like it's just the X's and O's. You're not nobody's moving like Carmel Moten. He's made like Tank. It's like Tank Esh. Like it's
Yeah,
just
no,
crazy.
I agree with you in one aspect is that no one is moving like Carmel Moten, and he looks light years ahead. If you were to compare Carmel Moten at age 16 or 17, where Lee Wood was age 16 or 17, yeah, Carmel Moten is light years ahead of Lee Wood. But I am going to disagree with you that a 17 or 16-year-old kid is going to be able to out tough and outbeat Lee Wood. I don't think he can beat him at this respective age because he's still a kid. I mean, he just beat a 4-0 fighter. I'm going to respect Lee Wood and his accomplishments of beating Michael Conlon, of knocking him out and knocking him out of the ring. No disrespect to Carmel Moten, but he's just a kid. Lee Wood would body him. You know what I'm saying? But give him 4 more years, the same thing. Carmel Moten could not fuck with Naoya anyway. But guess what? That's not the standard, and I'm not going to pressure Carmel Moten to move that fast.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, how he's sparring. He looks amazing because I guarantee you, Lee Wood at age 17, he was just a decent fighter.
Mhm.
Lee Wood, I like him a lot. He's exceeded expectations. He's made a great career for himself. He's basically the comeback kid. Every
Yeah.
time he's losing, and then boom, that
Mhm.
he fucking hits you, and then it's lights out.
And then,
So yeah,
anyway, and then, anyway,
credit to Carmel Moten, credit to Lee Wood, but I'm gonna give Lee Wood the fact that he's been a champion, the fact that he's beaten some great fighters like Josh Warrington and Carmel Moten. He's not a 12-round fighter. Carmel Moten is not a 10-round fighter, bro. He's a 4-round fighter. He's still a kid. So Lee Wood would easy body him because this is 36 minutes, 12 minutes, a minute in between 48 minutes of fucking championship fighting.
in today's
No
day,
disrespect to Carmel, but he's not a champion.
in
But
today,
it is what it is. That's where I'm going to disagree with you. But I agree with you in the aspect that Carmel Moten, he's pushing the thread and he's doing great big things.
yeah, no one's just moving like him. I guess that's what I was saying too. You're right. He's not a 12-round fighter, so that would actually like not make me like want to put money on him. Just
Yeah,
watch.
if you were to put money on Carmel Moten to fight in his next championship, unless he's Lomachenko with 300 and 400 amateur experience and a 2-time gold medalist, which Carmel Moten is not, guess what? He's going to get knocked out after like 7 rounds.
Yeah,
once he's tired,
not.
once he thought like, oh man, this guy's taking my punch and he's blocking them, he's just gonna be Lee Wood. He's just gonna be like, here's a jab, Anthony Yard, boom, like over it to him. And
we're saying the same thing about Tank too, though. Remember, Tank never even crossed how many first-round knockouts and like there was a round that no one was crossing up until Leo Santa Cruz or some shit like that, or fucking Mario Barrios. And so I'm saying the potential of him being that Tank, I'm pretty sure eventually they're gonna build him up. I'm not saying like he's gonna do it against anybody, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a good job of building him up and actually make people talk about like they did Tank. Like they're gonna be like, oh yeah,
but
they're gonna make promoters say shit like and commentators say shit like, well. No one's ever crossed the 5th round with Carmel Moten. Eventually they're gonna start talking like that.
Absolutely. That's called building a fighter. But you don't put a 16 or a 15, 17-year-old kid.
It doesn't work out
with
that
a champion. You know what I'm saying? Like you might get the better out of these dudes in championship rounds. I mean, in sparring sessions that are like 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 3 rounds. But we're talking about a 12-round fight. So of course they're gonna do their due diligence and the process of building of a star. Like Tank Davis, before he started fighting real killers, like he had 4 rounds, then he went 6 rounds, then he went the distance, then he started going 8 rounds, then he went 10 rounds, and then up until like his 20th fight, he finally fought a Jose Petraza. That's the same process is going to take Carmel Moten. So it's not one of those things that like, oh, immediately I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he can beat Lee Wood. No, absolutely not. And he wouldn't be able to beat Naoya anyway. Carmel Moten might not even beat Roman Chocolatito, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Maybe because he's bigger and he's like 20 pounds bigger than him. I don't know what the
Yeah,
size
he's a lot
difference is.
bigger.
I'm not even too sure what weight class Camille Moulton fights, but let's say it's
One,
122 or
it's 127,
126. I don't even think he can beat Chocolatito, bro.
126. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
What about
But
Ruben? Ruben Villa.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if Carmel Moulton could beat Ruben Villa, and that's the same weight class because these guys have been in there with Emmanuel Navarrete. So I'm not just gonna put Carmel Moulton in this pedestal just because Floyd Mayweather signed him or because he looks to be the goods. Like, bro, these guys are doing the same thing and they have the grown man strength.
Mhm.
Moulton is still a kid. I'm not trying to shit on the kid. Like,
So
dude, I
this,
like him. I know he's gonna be a
yeah.
big thing, but that was you're jumping. You're leaping, you know what I mean, Drew? So it's a little bit of a
Nah,
stretch, but it's all good.
no, no. He's that guy, bro. I'm telling you right now. Like I've gotten enough footage on that guy, and I'm like, want what? Like he just, no one's looking like him, bro. Like in sparring, he's just getting top notch sparring. He's fighting at world class fighters. Like it's just there, bro. And he's actually, his trajectory is looking better than Tank, only because he does certain things a lot better than Tank. He's a lot faster than Tank. He knows how to set traps. He does everything right, and it's just crazy to see because this is kind of like, it's just he's his own guy. I'm trying to name a fighter, but I'm saying height wise, he's like fucking Shakur, bro. Like like he's like perfect like that, But yeah, no, I don't think, bro. Like I'm high on him up
No,
until
no, it like okay. So let me put it like this: it's good to be high on him, but unless he has an opponent and a rival like Ryan Garcia, he's not going to be able to outdo Tank. Now, if he were to win gold, then he's doing his own path. Speed goes, so now you're agreeing with me, the homie Ricky, question mark, but you mute me and let Drew speak like he did with a nary a rebuttal. You both are south, sir. First and foremost, the reason I had to mute you is because you went on a tangent and a blitz and a barrage of words that it was just like, bro, hold on. No one is even saying that. And then you have to raise your voice, and it's just like, bro, like we just let you cook for 2-3 minutes, and then
we
you
don't
don't
know
even
what to
let
go off
nobody
of.
interject, and you just want to be like, like, bro, I ain't got time for that. That's ridiculous. And then you left on your own accord because you can't communicate like an adult. I'm not top of time, bro. I was annoying. That was ridiculous. So yeah, you're the one that ran away and shut the door like a petulant child. And just like, don't talk to me, daddy. The fuck out of here. That shit was ridiculous. But
Wait, it's
let me
crazy.
ask you this:
I was gonna mention another amateur. Well, I
Alexis
know about
Rocha,
three. Go ahead.
Versus Giovanni Santillán, right? Is this the next big fighter
Let
that
me see.
Golden Boy has right now in his stable? Alexis?
Alexis Rocha, as far as what I've heard, yeah, bro. I think
What have you heard?
uh I've heard that this guy is a sparring champ, bro. Like he does a lot of good things in there. He's just he reminds me a lot of Mikey Garcia a little bit, because I guess it's his body, like the way his body is. I don't know. It's just he's a small guy, but he's actually a bigger, But he's like yeah, he's just not. He's like not flabby. He's just because he's
Fuck
actually
no, bro. I think you're
yeah
confusing now. Mikey
yeah.
Garcia, unless when he was at 126 and beating Rocky
I'm thinking of
Martinez.
Jesus Ramos.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, no, yes. Okay, if you said Jesus
yeah.
Ramos and Alexis
Yeah.
Rocha, yeah,
Never
they're
mind.
kind of mirrors of one another. The both
Yeah,
southpaw, the very
I'm
strong,
mixed up.
stocky, built, and defined. Mikey Garcia was like the opposite, bro. He was like
I'm mixed up.
drinking modelos and like taquitos de birria and fucking training. Like he didn't give a fuck about his body. He
Yeah.
finally started posting images when he moved up and he looked like Kangaroo Jack. And when he moved up to fight Errol Spence, he was flexing. Then that's when he showed his body. But even then, bro, like he's always been flabby. Nah, you can't.
But I was
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
He was. I think they started looking at him a little differently since what's his name. Went through his BS. Fucking Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah.
Because now that's all they got now, right? In their stable. So yeah, Rocha is just that next guy, the Mexican guy up. So I feel like there's more weight on his back as far as representing, his division and his stable and all that. So, yeah, bro. I think since he beat what's his name, Blair Cobb. I mean, I can only that says a lot right there because Blair Carl's an athletic dude. He's like a 12 round. He's a good 12 round fighter, and he not sure if he's chinny, but I know Rocha probably knows good punch placement. And he has obviously, he's heart. Because I think you showed us that video with his dad and all that. So he goes through his his moods where he starts to turn it up. So that's a different type of fighter. Most fighters don't have that way of turning it up, emotionally. Literally his dad, or yeah, that was his dad, right? That spoke to him like that.
Yeah, I think that was his dad. Yeah, ¿Qué
Yeah,
chingados
just
estás hablando? Yeah,
but
I
it
love
just
that
it gave
shit, bro. Like, no
bro.
lie, if I'm having motivate, like get out of bed, like I pop that shit because I have that shit screensaver on my phone, and that shit gets me going to do like my push-ups and go run my miles, bro. Like if
Yeah,
I'm
no,
being like a lazy fuck, that's what I put on. I'm like, all right, bro. Like,
yeah, and his dad, like crazy having that in your corner. That's like
yeah.
that's like
That's the
energy.
energy that you need, bro, to get
That's
you
like
fucking going, bro.
that's an energy drink right there, real
Oh
quick, and
yeah,
you're getting, and that's a
you're getting
different type.
scolded.
That's a
It's
different type of motivation,
bro,
So,
that line that he said, "You're gonna fucking hate yourself in the morning." I was like,
bro,
I felt that,
but
bro.
people,
I was
it
like,
goes over their
damn.
head. It goes over a lot of people's head, but that's almost that's an what do I call it? That's a fucking like a you want to almost call that an advantage, when shit when you have that emotional attachment with them, it's different. You have a different fighter in your hands.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree, but it could sometimes push a fighter away. Joel Diaz, right? When he had Timothy Bradley, and he was the best with Timothy Bradley, even after Teddy Atlas. Joe Diaz was like that trainer that Alexis Rocha has, his father or his uncle. That's how that type of energy Joe Diaz had. And Timothy Bradley, he was getting kind of annoyed, and he was like, "Man, why is he fucking always hard on me?" And then he ended up going to Teddy Atlas, who kind of has that same energy as well. And they so sometimes that type of energy could push fighters away because it's very in your face and it's the cold hard truth. And some people can't hear that cold hard truth. You know what I'm saying? They walk away, they walk off set. Just happened 5 minutes ago. So yeah, man, it's not easy. Like you said, it's an advantage to have that if you acknowledge and understand by having that person in your corner, they're actually trying to get the best out of you. But at the same time, you can also push people away because it's just like, you're not being fair to me. Why are you always yelling? And it's not,
yeah,
I'm yelling for the sake of yelling. I'm yelling because if you don't do this, you're going to fucking feel down. You're going to fucking lose. You're going to unmotivate yourself. You're not going to wake up with the same hunger because you lost. And then it's going to, detract you from the big mission at play, right? So that saying, that quote, that line, you're gonna hate yourself in the fucking morning if you don't get this shit done. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, man, bro, it just had one of those off nights. You try to find a reason, but there is no reason. It's inexplicable. Bro,
yeah,
that pep talk, it's the fucking best, bro. In fact, I'm gonna listen to it again.
yeah. No, it's crazy that people have that motive like right on their, right on their hips. So that's an advantage right there. And I feel like Santillan's like mono. He looks like he doesn't talk a lot. He obviously he speaks Spanish only, right? So, I mean, yeah, he doesn't really express himself that much. I mean, he seems not as motivated. Like he's just become world champ, obviously, but he's like not doing nothing too special. So I think
Hold
Roach
on, Drew. Let's hear this again real quick.
knockout. You think? I,
You're gonna fucking hate yourself in the morning. Why are you pulling back? No, don't tell me yes. Why? Stay inside. Hitting you the right hand here because you don't fucking listen. God damn it, Lexus. Where are you supposed to be? Do not back up. What happened 2 or 3 punches? What happened in the last round? Okay. Listen to me, son. Okay? You cannot do what you just did that last round. Se saca un chingo derecho y te quedas parado. Come on.
go back. I want.
Bro, that's fucking Hollywood shit.
Yeah,
That's storytelling. That's script writing, bro. That was amazing, bro. That
yeah.
was
No,
amazing.
crazy because
Dude.
he
Like,
did. That was the the next round right after that, right? He did
Yeah,
that.
dude, the final 10th round, and I think he ended up winning by decision, and it was mainly because of the knockdown. Ah, dude,
Damn.
that's incredible, bro.
Yeah,
That's fucking bad.
that's good shit right there. Because
Oh yeah. Teddy Atlas had an amazing one too when he was training Alexander Povetkin, the heavyweight out of Russia.
I think I remember.
And
Yeah.
then he tells him like, do you believe in ghosts or the paranormal? He says like that. He goes, because sometimes the dead come back to life. I don't know, bro. I gotta find it. Hold on. And it's an incredible pep talk speech. And
Mm-hmm.
he has an iconic comeback moment to knock out this fighter who was, I think it was like Chagiev or I don't know, bro. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not
I like Teddy. He's fucking like hella animated.
like Teddy Atlas.
And he'll like roll himself up. You know, I listen to his podcast. Well, he has like it's not a podcast, but he just really like content in there.
Ну вот заводят Тедди Атлас, считает, что с Александром Поветкиным
And you'll be strong. And I like how the translator is translating it in his like emotion too. You know, he's like,
Yeah. No, yeah, you have to, bro. So there's always that language barrier, but he had an amazing moment. It's a longer video. I thought it was gonna be 30 seconds, but he's been it was a Hollywood like beginning, middle, and end. In the beginning, like in the third round, the fight isn't really going his way, and he's like, "This is your moment, this is your history." In the 5th or 6th round, he says another epic speech. The 8th and the 10th round, he says something amazing, and like the 12th round, he says something epic. He ties it all together. And bro, it was incredible. And I was like, yeah, dude, Teddy Atlas is that fucking guy. Yeah, no, it was incredible. It's when you have those pep talks, some of those pep talks, and that's what distinguishes and differentiates a Hall of Fame trainer versus like a great trainer versus a good trainer and then like a mediocre trainer, right? Those pep talks aren't just about like, oh, let me put ice in your cheek and, you know, drop down the inflammation. It isn't just about, oh, you got to throw your 1-2 and your 3, mijo, you got to combinations. No, there's the philosophy, right? To be able to understand the mood swings of the fighter, the momentum of a fight. And if you have these quotes, bro, it brings some type of inspiration to a fighter in that heat of the moment. And it just like, andale, like, bro, it's fucking bad, bro.
yeah, I know that's good stuff right
pep
there,
talks are fucking dope, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm like looking at while you're looking at that, I was watching Santillan's fucking opponents.
Yeah.
Bro, fucking his last knockout was against a dude named Giovannis Barraza.
Yeah, I don't think Santillán is gonna knock out Alexis Rocha, bro. If anything, Alexis Rocha will knock him out, or Alexis will win by decision. But if I'm not mistaken, bro, I don't know if you're on BoxRec or if you're looking up on YouTube, but is he trained by Robert Garcia, Giovanni Santillán?
Does it say on his BoxRec? I don't think it does, bro.
It tells you who their trainers are?
No, it doesn't. It says a manager, agent, David McWater. I don't know.
I don't even know. I've never even heard of that name, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who.
Son, let me check his Instagram. Let's see, like who shows up there. Giovanni.
He's from San Diego.
All right. He's from San Diego, California. Let me see who he's hitting mitts with. Well, he's hitting mitts with an old white man, or an older white man that's bald. So I don't think he's with Robert Garcia, because Robert Garcia had a list of young stable fighters, right? He had like Hector Tanajara, the Bam Bam Rodriguez, Joshua Franco type of fighters, and then he had Lindolfo Delgado, and I thought Lindolfo Delgado and Giovanni Santillán came in that bundle. So I thought he was being trained by him, but not, bro. I think kind of like that agent that you said. I think it's completely different. He's doing his own thing. No. Actually, he might be trained with Robert Garcia, because on September 15th, he's hitting mitts with Robert Garcia. So I was actually right. I'm not just spewing bullshit.
So Robert Garcia, then I think
so he probably has like a training camp at home, and then he'll like for the better sparring, he'll go over there to the RGBA camp. Yeah, so he might be a Robert Garcia fighter, bro. I
Okay.
could be wrong about that.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, the fight.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good, bro.
Well,
Because one thing about Robert, well, not only was he trainer of the year, but he had a great stable of fighters. I don't know how he's doing now, but yeah, bro, he's a good fucking trainer.
and then
Not the best, but I feel like Robert shines and flourishes when he has a fighter kind of like a Brian Viloria or a Marcos Maidana that has the goods, but he adds a little bit more of like refine their technique, and then he brings the underdog role and he flourishes it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where Robert Garcia stands. But once you put so much high expectation of Robert, I feel like he fails you, lets you down a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't try to change it up. Yeah, he feels like all the work has been done, type of thing. But yeah, he's just different philosophy. And I was gonna mention, Jojo Diaz is gonna fight, right?
Yeah, he's fighting on the undercard against Richard Medina, who got beat by Raymond Ford. Who Raymond Ford in his last fight, prior to fighting Richard Medina, who was undefeated, he got beat by Eduardo Vasquez. That same Eduardo Vasquez who's going to fight Joe Cordina, the 130 champion. So yeah, no, dude, this undercard's pretty good. They got JoJo, they got Sebastian Fandora, sister Gabriela. She's fighting there. Who else do they have besides JoJo and Alexis Rocha? There's another fighter that they're throwing in there too.
There's a dude named Joe Sean James from Sacramento. My uncles know him. Yeah, Joe Sean James. He's from Sac though. He fought on the top rank card, and now he's on the zone. But Joe Sean, he was fighting on the when we went to watch Ruben Villa. He was he fought that dude from Milwaukee. He's the one that got the draw against him. So he's fighting a dude named David Stevens, another undefeated fighter, 13-0, 9 knockouts. So this dude Joe Sean James, bro, he has like a side job, and full-time job, and he does this full-time, man, and it's big opportunities because he got the draw against that dude Milwaukee made. That's his alias, I believe, Martinez. Yeah. He got the draw against him, and he pretty much got himself a deal with the zone, so he's with Oscar De La Hoya. So yeah, it's crazy seeing him on multiple networks. Like usually, I mean, I guess it's just my experience because I don't really pay too close attention to like the smaller fighters, but I'm not sure if this happens a lot, but that he's like bouncing around. That means he's getting, good opportunity. And he's getting his name out there pretty good. So
Yeah. No, I feel it, bro.
Joe Sean James, solid fighter, 7-0 and 2 draws. He'll do like mitt work with my uncles. He'll get that work in, but he lives in Vallejo, but that's why he gets some work out there. But he fights out of another gym. But yeah,
Man, this the zone cards, it's looking pretty good, bro. I'm actually really impressed what Golden Boy has been able to do, given that his biggest fighters either have gotten injured or aren't active enough, right? So when you think about Golden Boy rosters, you think about Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz, and Ryan's only fought one time this year, and Virgil none. So the fights that he's been able to pull out with Jaime Munguia and Sergey Derenchenko, right? Luis Neri versus that guy Asa, which was an Aegis Klimas fighter, like, bro, it's been pretty good. And even the last fight that JoJo had versus like Jerry Diaz or something like that over there at that Texas, Grand Prairie fucking undercard, that shit was badass, bro. Like his events, with the budget and the limited roster that Golden Boy has, it's always very competitive and quality. You know what I mean? Even the other like obscure names that like we just kind of talked about it, like Ortiaga, that guy who's gonna be fighting Ryan Garcia, bro. Like it's not bad, bro. Like I'm impressed. Impressive.
So who fights after this weekend?
After this weekend, I think it's gonna be Tyson Fury, bro.
Tyson Fury, nice. So it's gonna be a heavyweight week next week.
Yeah. So this week, not only do you have a lot of the zone cards that are hosted by Golden Boy, Eddie Hearn also is going to be giving us Jorge Linares versus Jack Catterall, bro.
Ciao.
Yeah. So this week we have a lot. We have there was supposed to be some fights on Boxer, I think on the Peacock app.
Oh
But I
yeah.
think Speed was saying that Dan Aziz got injured or some shit like that.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we have Jack Catterall, Jojo Diaz versus Richard Medina. John Scrappy Ramirez. He's fighting this guy named Ronald Batista. I think he's like a 115 pounder. He's
Hmm.
pretty good, Golden Boy fighter. I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know,
Yeah, I
like a
know that is.
emo guy with like neck tattoos all over his
Yeah.
body.
So
And then
that's
you,
the guy that went. So when my uncle went to Texas for Chema's fight, they stayed at fucking at what's his name, Zurdo's house he owns out there for their in their camp, and then in that camp was also Scrappy too. So he's like trained by I believe his trainer, Zurdo's trainer. So yeah, Scrappy Ramirez, he's a good little fighter, bro. He's a small guy.
yeah, he's
Uh,
good, bro. He's competitive. It's fun.
and he's a small guy. So like he's like there was like 5'4" flyweight, you know. So but he's jacked, you know. You tell like he's jacked, like he's dense as fuck, and no, he looks good. He kind of reminds me of Jesse or Bam Bam a little bit, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I like his style. Like if you see him on social media, he like extra flashy. Like Bam Bam isn't really like that, you know. But I like this guy. He's like, you know, a good self promoter. Um, yeah, no, I like this shit. Oh, and then oh yeah, I forgot about that Sonny Edwards fight. That's gonna be a good fight too. But that's in December. Never mind, December 16th. But yeah, man, that's all I got on my end, bro. We've been talking a lot, huh? Started
Yeah,
early
bro,
too.
that's pretty much it, bro. I was gonna tell you either gonna if you're gonna keep talking, you gotta hold it down for a bit, porque me estoy cagando, güey. No, I'm just fucking
Nah,
around. But yeah, man, I think we covered a lot of range of topics. Hopefully, you guys got some, input out of it. But yeah, Drew, thanks for tuning in.
yeah,
As
man.
well with you, Vince. Always thank you for just commenting and just bouncing off ideas. Same thing with you, Speed. I don't know what's going on, bro, but you have this really combative energy of late, and just gotta let you know, man. You gotta drink like a Bud Light, to get you on your softer side. Not just
But yeah,
joking.
nah.
Hey guys, on that note, have a good night, man. We'll talk a little bit of Alexis Rocha maybe sometime tomorrow or some other news breaks up. But yeah, have a good night. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right, man.
Next
And
one.
also, wait, Devin paid for that loss.
Damn, I don't even know what you said, bro. But have a good night, guys.